And it's a rock and roll damnation. Ma's own whippin' boy. Rock and roll damnation. Take a chance while you still got the choice. Hello, Charkie. Hello, Johnny.
Hey, Cass.
Hello.
Welcome, one and all. Welcome to the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Welcome to Damnation. This is the show in which we play Damnation, released May 22nd, 2009 in Europe, May 26th, 2009 in North America, and June 4th, 2009 in Australia, across the Microsoft Xbox 360, the Sony PlayStation 3, and Windows PCs.
This is a present from me.
Damnation, you live like this? Yeah, we do, believe it or not, Blats. Thank you for the subscription. This is a game primarily developed, credited development to Blue Omega Entertainment, but with, we'll call it collaboration, between Velvet Elvis Studios, Point of View, and One Liquid Development, all to be published by Codemasters. Let me ask you, here at the top of the show, what is y'all's familiarity with alt history and revisionist history?
Oh, I thought you were going to say with this game that we're going to play, but no, we're... All right, with alt history and revisionist history. Boy, people sure do like to wonder what would happen to the Nazis one, don't they?
Yeah, that's
Like
the
lot.
basis of most alt history games. For the benefit of folk at home who may not know, we ran a patron poll for our lovely patrons to vote in to help us decide what we were going to play. We had a alt history poll where the two games that won, that tied together, were this, Civil War alt history, and You're Empty, which is like a post-Soviet alt history. But basically all the rest of the options were, what if the Nazis won World War II? Because that's, again, people get really hung up on that idea, or really obsessed with that idea. So I'm glad that the two interesting games won.
Yeah, I think that's partly, though, at least in part, because it's very easy to, like, well, who's the bad guy's going to be that doesn't piss off, like, a current? I think of other alt histories that get awkward. Homefront's always awkward with the North Korea stuff. It's, you know, at least until very recently, it was very easy to be just like, oh yeah, everyone hates the Nazis. We can just make them the bad guys and no one questions it.
This game's going to have a lot of common similar threads with Homefront, by the way, as we get into the history. And there is a history for this one. It is an interesting one that I would like to get into. But before we do that, that's basically your experience with alt history? Is just
well, I like
the
the
lens
Metro
of video
series.
Games? Metro's cool.
Yeah. Oh, I did rewatch
That's
Battlefield Earth today, which is alt history and future combined.
They're saying technically, like, Metro 2033 won't be alt history for another 7 years, give or take.
Oh yeah, you know, it's kind of hard to call future game. I mean, there was a divergent point in history from which the events of that game spring forth. It's maybe not the classic definition of alt history, because then most video games would be alt history if Earth is involved. Anyway, the point of this, the point I'm trying to make here, is that alt history is very commonly like relegated to this one or two historic wars. Civil War, pretty common as well. Not as common in video games, but there are a few other video games that have taken the Civil War and turned it steampunk. That is the gimmick here. This is a steampunk parkour third-person shooter dealing in Civil War alt history. If that sounds like just throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks, yup. This game was not loved on release, was received quite coldly. Some even called it one of the worst games of 2009. And I, for one, would like to interrogate the circumstances behind that. Thank you, Rockhelms, for these gift subs you have so graciously donated. This game, when I first put it on the poll, I didn't know much about. Having done the history, this is one that I feel needs to be talked about. I'm fascinated by this one. It may not be one of the big name bad games, it's maybe one that is forgotten to time into history. Ironically enough, given it's an alternative history game. But this is one that I am hoping people will be compelled by the story we tell here. Because there's a lot of parables that can be derived from it, a lot of lessons to be learned from the story of this game's troubled development, as we will get into. But before we do, before we give this game's history away, there is a segment on our show with a lot of history, a lot of provenance to it. And, accept no alternatives, accept no substitutes. For Charkie Stream Snack.
Right, tonight's stream snack is farm-rich loaded potato skins, which, So, when they came out the oven here, the potatoes are cooked to an adequate degree. They're, not overcooked. Yeah, maybe a little overcooked, but not super overcooked and not, undercooked. The cheese and the bacon bits that are on there have been annihilated by the oven. Like, those two things cannot cook equally from a frozen state. So, it just tastes like potato with carbon on top of it. There's no cheese flavor, there's no bacon flavor that has been annihilated. Like, it's not charred black or anything, but it might as well be from the flavor I'm getting. Tonight's drink is Georgie Energy Drink Sparkling Watermelon Splash. Now, I was a little worried about this one because my allergies are still kind of settling in. Still figuring out what I'm allergic to, and there's a possibility that watermelon is something I might be allergic to. But this has like natural flavors, which I already did my rant about that. But looking else on the packaging, it says contains 0% juice. I'm in the clear.
Very good.
Not real shit. So I will go ahead and open this up. I'll take a sip, and as I do, and before I formulate my thoughts, Cass, what are you having?
Well, I slammed one of those vanilla berry Red Bulls earlier today while food shopping. Just open it up in the grocery store and just chug that down. And now I'm chugging a Pabst Blue Ribbon, baby, so I can get a nice buzz going for this. And I've also got some frozen water to the side. I'm still feverish. I'm still running probably like 100 degrees right now, but I'm just working through it. You can't stop me from showing off a third-person shooter on the show, from helming this playthrough.
I can't think of like Pabst Blue Ribbon, or I can't hear someone say Pabst Blue Ribbon without thinking of Blue Velvet.
Goddamn
I
right.
just always think of that scene.
See,
Anyway.
funny, I keep thinking of Pap Smears.
Anyway, the drink, the watermelon. This is like watermelon Jolly Rancher, but watered down. It's definitely got that taste to it, but it is not quite as sweet, and that flavor sort of dies down into just like a seltzer. At a certain point, it's just barely watermelon left, and it's mostly just like, I don't know, carbonated water. Which, I don't know. I know there's some people who like their sparkling water, so that's not me. But, hey, maybe you would like this if you wanted some. I've had LaCroix before. I think this tastes like if LaCroix actually had flavors and didn't just have the names of fruit written on the cans with no actual flavor inside.
It's all placebo.
I think this is what that would taste like. Johnny, what are you having?
Yeah, I have a caramel latte, and I've got my Walker's queso crisps again, though I've also got some guacamole with it. And in reserve, I got a reserve snack, just in case. I have a Twix crispy roll, 2 of them. Like Twix put into like a wafer roll form. These are very nice, especially if you don't want to eat like a whole candy bar. You just get like the little bit of it.
I thought you meant
make
like
them
a
in the
sushi
straws
roll.
as well.
I was thinking about a pap
that'd be
smear
amazing, though.
for some reason. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, some reason. Yeah.
Right, well, I think that will do it for the stream snack then.
I believe it will. So I will answer one Stream Snack related question from chat. Blahats asks, random question, did that Stream Snack Compendium Excel sheet ever get made? I believe Louise PSC got a good start on it. Charky was supposed to maintain it and update it, and then this never happened.
Yeah, I just couldn't keep up with it. So, yeah,
when we have a wiki,
really appreciate
what we need is a wiki ultimately for like this compending, getting all like the episodes we've done and playthroughs and all that stuff, and then we'll have a Stream Snack somewhere on there, a page for that.
I really do appreciate the work Louise PSC did with that, but I just had a hard time focusing to maintain it. So yeah, it's kind of been stagnant. One of these days though, and Louise Don't try it again. Don't put yourself through that. Don't set yourself up for failure again. I really do appreciate what you did the first time, and I am sorry that I could not rise to the occasion to keep it up.
All things in due time. And speaking of rising to the occasion has come for us to move to the main stage. We got some steampunk elements on the sidebars here, in keeping with theme of today's game. And before we get into the game's history, I want to take a little bit of a tangent here, just a very brief tangent about researching games history as a general principle. You know, we're known for doing the history sections. I'm personally known for writing way too long articles about the history of certain video games back when the Bad Game Hall of Fame was a writing project. And very frequently I get asked, how do you do your research? Where does it begin? And people are surprised when I admit to the place that my research usually starts, and I don't think there's any shame in saying this, and I will defend this, is fucking check Wikipedia. It's not that you want to quote Wikipedia. It's not that you want to like have Wikipedia be your be-all, end-all. But in terms of like getting started, yeah, it's probably good to get with like something pretty concise out of like a Wikipedia article to, I would say, like for your pre-research. That's where you're lining up sources, because a lot of Wikipedia articles on video games are pretty decently well sourced. It turns out that people who contribute to Wikipedia do like care about the subjects they are interested in, the weird niches and hyperfixations they have, and feel compelled to flesh out these sorts of articles on games, even forgotten games, even bad games. Will typically have decent little like development histories on them. And again, this is a starting point just to get like the basic, you know, the Cliff's Notes. And then from there, you know, there's a lot more you can go into, like advanced Google foo, using like databases, magazine databases, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But typically, Wikipedia makes for a fine start for most games. The Wikipedia article for today's game, Damnation, is fucking terrible. It has one of the worst development sections I have ever read. This is pathetic. And we're going to read the whole thing here. If this is all you knew about the game, you would not know the first goddamn thing about this game's development. The game originally started as an Unreal Tournament 2004 mod and was entered into Epic Games' first Make Something Unreal contest. Lie! It came in second place for Best Total Conversion Game Modification. Semi-accurate, but not really. The retail version retains much of its mod's gameplay, including third-person gameplay, acrobatic moves, and spirit vision. A demo was scheduled to be released on the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live Marketplace in early January 2009, but that was never released. The game was delayed numerous times from its original fall 2008 release, with numerous release dates thereafter being given and then missed before finally being released in May to June 2009, no source.
Yeah, no sources on any of this, aside from the...
And then this last fucking paragraph and the thumbnail image to the left. This is where hyperfixation nerds get a little too up their own ass about things that do not fucking matter in the grand scheme of this, an article about a video game. The game's cover uses Ray Larrabee's freeware font Ankle Pants, which borrows heavily from the Group W typeface logo introduced in 1963 for their logos and on-air imaging, though the game was released in 2009, 11 years after Group W went defunct, and before it was merged into CBS, which itself was later merged, the original incarnation of Viacom, when CBS and Viacom merged. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit? What?
Do you think... Okay, wait. Do you think that was written by, like, an obsessive video game nerd or an obsessive font nerd?
Obsessive font nerd, obsessive typography nerd. It's not like there was like a lawsuit. It's not like they used the font illegally. If it was a matter of like, they used this font when they really shouldn't have because this is a licensed font face. And it's like, no, it's just like someone noticed a font. And I don't even know it's the exact font. It might not be. They do, it's like, it's slightly different. I mean, they put like some decals and graphics on it. So this could just be completely superfluous information here.
We're going to launch the game and it's just going to be Comic Sans.
The gentleman's choice. Anyway, this is why people have negative opinions of Wikipedia articles on video games in many cases, because you'll occasionally stumble on shit like this, which is just highly embarrassing and not comprehensive at all, and does not even begin to cover like the actual interesting stuff. But no, thank God we got a whole paragraph on Group W's logo typeface. Okay, let's move along. Why don't we? To the origins of the team that would become Blue Omega Entertainment. So we begin in the year 1999 with one Michael Urbanski, a self-proclaimed entrepreneur with, quote, extensive experience in the real estate market and internet marketing, according to his LinkedIn profile that I scoured. He doesn't talk about this too much, but he also produced 2 failed horror movies in the mid-2000s, Dark Ride and Danica, which you've never heard of and no one has ever seen, but it's very funny that he was splashing his cash around everywhere. And you'll find out that while he was doing that, he was also working on Damnation. So again, this dude was trying a little bit of everything. What we're seeing, say something nice already?
About Wikipedia?
You gotta give us some time, okay? Let us get to something I can say something nice about. Right now, I gotta give this history. Right now, I gotta talk about Heavy Hammer Incorporated. To read their company bio as written on the company's LinkedIn page. Heavy Hammer, based in Annapolis, Maryland, is an online networking and consulting company geared toward connecting real estate professionals with potential clients. It drives one of the most widely used suites of foreclosure websites, starting with ushud.com in 1999. Heavy Hammer is focused on geographically based ad-serving technology and processes that allow professionals to target a specific location and connect directly with consumers in that location. This group of sites now includes many others, including over 30 state and region-specific sites that connect more than 500,000 home buyers each month with thousands of real estate professionals across the country. These are the only free-to-consumer foreclosures-focused search sites operating currently and offer the most definitive source of foreclosures available.
Holy shit.
Anyway, yeah, it's just real estate shit. They design websites for real estate agents. That's what Heavy Hammer was born to do in 1999 and continues to do to this day. The company is still around, by the way, and Michael Urbanski still affiliated with it. But in those early days, this page here, I took a screenshot of their Flash-based website where they show some examples of some of their other web design. The faces on the left and right I superimposed. By the way, on the left is Michael Urbanski, and on the right is a player who will feature heavily in this story, one Jacob Minkoff, who in 1994 was working at an intern at Video Productions, in Video Productions. That's a studio responsible for the interactive blue screen games on Nick Arcade. So that was how he cut his teeth in the industry. He then goes on to become a freelance programmer and graphic designer for a few different companies until ultimately catching the eye of Michael Urbanski, who hires Jacob to redesign the Heavy Hammer website as a graphic designer. And so he does, and this website that we're looking at here is the product of Jacob's design. If you go to Archive, if you go to Wayback Machine and check the heavyhammer.com website, it is like years of under construction, and then in around 2002, when Jacob is brought on, that the website starts to look like this. And so I would believe that this design of the website was consistent for several years, was Jacob's baby. And clearly he impressed Michael.
Was the under construction stuff like the little guy with the pickaxe and hitting the rocks in the animated GIF?
Maybe at one point, maybe briefly in the late 90s in 1999. I don't remember those versions of the website. I'm sorry to say. Do your own research, folks. Always double check our work for us and discover things for yourself. That's my other key to research, is that even if you find an exhaustive source, even if you find someone like us who goes the extra mile, you got to go a mile after that to get the full story in some cases. Anyway, this is all to say that clearly Jacob impressed Michael. Clearly these two, coming together in the same room sparked some sort of creative juice. And they're scheming of ways, at this point in 2002, to get into the burgeoning video game industry. Jacob has some skills as a programmer, mostly as a designer, a graphic designer. Michael has the money, the producer role, and possibly contributes some of the ideas, the concepts for a game that will become Damnation, all hell breaks loose. Not to be confused with Damnation. We'll get to that in a second. So
honestly, I always confuse them both with Dead Watch.
It's very easy to. There's a lot of... Dark Watch, do you mean, by the way?
Dark Watch, yes.
Well, let me tell you something. When I got mad at that Wikipedia snippet that said the first ever Make Something Unreal contest, that's the origins of Damnation, and I said, lies! It's so deeply infuriating, because every source, even like interviews with Jacob, cite this 2004 contest, this 2004 Make Something Unreal contest as the first ever Make Something Unreal contest. And here we have a page that shows the Make Something Unreal 2004 contest. What is the Make Something Unreal contest? It was a series of contests organized in affiliation between Epic Games, who were obviously the developers of Unreal, the Unreal Engine, Unreal Tournament. They would collaborate with NVIDIA and Atari, and basically they were opportunities for modders to come together to show off what they were working on, to show off their maps, their mods, their machinima, et al., and compete for cash prizes. It was great publicity for Unreal, for Epic. It spurred creativity, and it spurred interest in their products. You know, people would want to download the games that were winners of this contest, or get into modding themselves for the opportunity to compete in this contest. This contest started in 2000. The first one was in 2000. There's an article on it. It's well documented that the first Make Something Unreal contest was announced in June 1999. Here's an IGN post to that effect. It had its share of winners and prizes given away. It was mostly focused on people making maps and skins, since Unreal Tournament 99, the original Unreal Tournament, had less in the way of like the ability to make total conversions or what have you. But it was still a contest that offered cash prizes for people who were putting out like impressive maps and mutators and stuff for Unreal. So that happens in 2000. I'll even note that, we mentioned that Wikipedia descriptor. Even the Wikipedia article for Make Something Unreal, like the full article, completely ignores this 2000 contest. So it's like they completely erased an entire like year from history, an entire like cash prize, publicly announced thing. You won't find information on anywhere except for the Unreal Fandom Wiki, which does properly document all of the Make Something Unreal contest winners. So that's just a bugbear for me. Have to note this stuff. Have to credit this Unreal Wiki for actually doing their due diligence and like documenting the winners in every category across the years 2000, 2004, 2008. A little less for the years 2012 and 2013, which were the last 2 years that the contest ran. But okay, let's get back on track here. Why don't we? So 2004. This is the year that Damnation is entered into the contest. That Damnation, Hell Breaks Loose, being developed by Blue Omega. And we'll get into that development. We'll get into the process of them developing this total conversion mod. But it goes on to win second place in this competition. So they get a cash prize. I believe they won $15,000 cash prize, as well as an Unreal license, which would allow them and enable them to develop a full game with an Unreal license in hand to flesh out their idea if they so chose to. First place that year was a little game by the name of Red Orchestra. Fourth place was a little game by the name of Alien Swarm. You may have heard of these games as they go on to become proper retail games. You may have also heard of some games from the 2008 Make Something Unreal contest. Maybe you've heard of Antichamber, The Ball, or Sanctum. Those are all things that began as Unreal Tournament mods and eventually became standalone products to some amount of acclaim and universal appeal. Hilariously, there's another game in that 2008 contest that had the tentative title of Angels Fall First that literally just released as a full standalone game, July 11th, 2026. 18 years, and is now a full game. So that's a long payoff for that one. That is a long ways to wait. But it does go to show that this Make Something Unreal contest was kind of a big fucking deal, that some people legitimately got their starts in the industry here. And that's going to be the case for many of the Blue Omega Entertainment staff, as we will get into. Here is just some concept art and a screenshot from the Unreal 2004 version of Damnation. These are taken from a post-mortem article posted on Beyond Unreal, published September 2005. Definitely worth reading. They don't specify who exactly they're interviewing this. I would have to hazard a guess that it's Jacob Minkoff. He is kind of like the front-facing person for Blue Omega in most scenarios. It's certainly not Michael. Michael is almost never on the record speaking to interviewers or what have you. But
hey, I have a question.
Yes.
Has there ever been a pre-mortem interview, like a month or two before the game comes out? The developers come out and say, like, you know what? We really fucked this one up. It's still going to be released, but let's tell you all about how bad this is going to be. We want to get right in front of it.
That would just be a tell-all. That would just be like, someone breaking NDA to be like hot gossiping.
So like the entire studio gets together to be like, you know what, folks, don't get your hopes up. You might want to sit down for this one.
That might be slightly counterintuitive, I would say. I don't think developers or publishers would like people doing that on their teams. It's just, believe it or not.
You know what? We tried to delay GTA 6 as much as possible, but it's just not going to work, and we want to let you know. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, I'm going to read some snippets from this post-mortem article. But to be clear, this is a post-mortem on Damnation Hell Breaks Loose, the Unreal Tournament 2004 mod, not on the final retail product that we'll be, reviewing and playing in the course of this playthrough. But this is like the early stages. So this is a team of modders reflecting on the process of making a mod. But I still find it very interesting, the detail they get into here. And I'm going to jump around quoting different bits of this. Back in January of 2004, four guys sat down together in a small, darkened room. At the time, they made websites for a living, harkening back to the Heavy Hammer days. But they were looking to get into something more creative. The subject of their meeting was how to utilize their free time to develop an FPS that would be fun and sell well. A bit over a year later, they had put together a team of more than 5 times the number of original members and had created a unique and engaging 2-hour-long single-player campaign as a mod for Unreal Tournament 2004, winning second place in the Make Something Unreal contest. We always looked at Damnation Hell Breaks Loose as a prototype for the larger game that we wanted to make. We envisioned the mod as a sort of demo that we could release to gauge what sort of an audience there was for a product like Damnation, as well as a learning experience for ourselves. Even the seasoned professionals on the team had never worked on a project this epic and complex. We needed a playable prototype in order to test out our new game concepts and to see if we were capable of making a game like this. During our search for a good licensed engine, we spoke to Mark Rain, and he suggested that we enter the Make Something Unreal contest. Why not, we thought. We knew that we needed to invest some time and effort into a prototype. If we won a free license of the Unreal Engine as a result, so much the better. This article, which, again, worth reading, gets into the what went right and what went wrong of development by measure of their hindsight. In terms of what went right in a bullet point list, though they flesh out each of these, I'm just going to give you the shorthand here. As far as what went right, they credit their team management and multitasking. They credit a shared vision, a shared collaborative vision between all the members of the team working towards a common goal. They compliment their programmers, that the people they had on hand were very technically competent, understood the engine well, and ultimately served to make the process of developing this prototype, this mod, mostly streamlined. They credit having a wiki. They credit having a wiki is a big key to their success, so that they could internally, document the changes they were making and the scripting they were doing and the assets and stuff, and that it clearly, led to them streamlining their design and their production timeline in such a way that they were all able to access information simultaneously.
What fonts they were using.
What fonts they were using. And the fifth bullet point here is just a quality over quantity. They had what they considered to be a somewhat narrow scope in terms of, what they were looking to produce as far as a single-player campaign. It's basically a level demo. It's a large-ass level. And the idea of it is, they talk about how the goal of it would be to have one contiguous huge level that you're traversing vertically. And, the further you get into it, you can look back and see where you came from, where you started at any moment in time, and see the journey you've made. And it's very technically ambitious in that way. And these are technical ambitions that will persist into the era of Damnation, the retail product. Now, all that being said, there's also a page dedicated to what went wrong. So let us count the ways. Bullet point number 1, not enough playtesting. Bullet number 2, engine rules. I am going to read a quote for this one. We built huge levels out of Lego block style instance geometry, assuming that back faces would be cold and that would be lighted correctly, even though many edge vertices were embedded in level geometry. Ultimately, as any seasoned Unreal vet can tell you, our game ran and looked like crap. The first release of Damnation ran at a speedy 13 frames per second most of the time. We'll see if that comes back to bite them later on down the line. Next bullet point, AI. I also have a quote for this one. We were making an FPS as a mod for the Unreal Engine. The Unreal Engine already had FPS AI, right? By all accounts, Unreal Bot AI is pretty darn good to play against. All we had to do was reskin the bots and drop them to our game, right? Wrong. The instant that we started trying to get bots to do things that the normal Unreal bots don't do, we realized we were in for a major battle. Bear that one in mind. That problem crops up again a little later down the line. And the final 2 bullet points. These are major ones. I don't have quotes attached, but no pre-production. Ugh. You gotta pre-plan things, folks. Take away that any aspiring game developer should have here. Do pre-production. Know what you're getting into. And they also note that their asset management pipeline could have stood to have been improved. And so those are what they largely credit as what went wrong for what was ultimately a universally acclaimed mod for Unreal Tournament 2004 that got a lot of play, that won them a cash prize. So this was highly respectable. This is just them like giving their insights into like what could we do better next time as we move into the industry proper. And that is the message that this postmortem sort of leaves off on, being that it was published September 2005. We'll get into the timeline here is a little wonky because of the way that these articles were published, but I will finish reading this article and you'll see where they leave off. We sit here now in the newly formed office of Blue Omega Entertainment and look forward to starting full production of the retail version of Damnation in just over a month. The lessons we learned from the prototype have strongly shaped the structure of this new development studio. Since our grand final submission, we have completely stopped development of the mod. We have spent the last 4 months doing nothing but pre-production. We have meticulously planned out our design docs, production pipelines, and schedule. Everything that went wrong with the prototype has been addressed and reworked from the ground up. In the end, even though we didn't win the license, we feel that the prototype was a success. That's right, the first prize. Red Orchestra are the folk who got the license for winning, as well as the $25,000 cash prize. So they just had to wipe their tears with their $15,000 instead, spread across their team.
Small tangent. Do you need a license to make a game in Unreal these days?
To fucking sell it, yes.
Okay.
I sell it commercially.
All right. Just curious.
We now know that we are more than capable of taking the Damnation concept to completion, and we feel confident that it will be a great game. In fact, the lessons we learned about valuing quality over quantity ensure that whether the final game matches our current vision or not, it will be fun. We believe that that focus alone is enough to make it a success. End quote. So yeah, ultimately... So what's happening between the publishing of that postmortem, them getting picked up by a major publisher, who ends up being Codemasters, by the way. So what they're doing is there's actually a pitch video that they put together that includes this awesome screenshot here that they are basically shipping around, sending off to whoever they can get in contact with. Jacob Minkoff himself actually uploaded to YouTube a copy of this pitch video, which was made just using assets from the mod, as well as some like Unreal Engine 3, like, you know, pre-render stuff, some pre-viz stuff, like this pair of boobs. The description for it reads that this was
it's called bump mapping.
Very good. The description reads, this was the original pitch trailer for the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC video game Damnation. It was made using concept art and gameplay from the Make Something Unreal contest, second place winning Unreal Tournament 2K4 mod, Damnation Hell Breaks Loose. So yeah, they had enough on their from that process, enough concept art stitched together with gameplay footage, with the toying around they were doing in Unreal Engine 3, that Codemasters, when they receive the pitch trailer, when they receive the video, they start to make a deal. They start coming to terms with Blue Omega. And this happens in around 2005, as per the postmortem and as per a timeline for development on the game that says that development would ultimately take 4 years. The development cycle for the retail version of Damnation would take 4 years. So we can assume it's in around like mid to late 2005, that this deal is signed. That being said, we don't hear about this deal. We don't hear about the game publicly until March 2008, when Codemasters finally sees fit to officially announce Damnation. Here we have a screenshot of, and here I'll link to, GameSpot article, basically regurgitating the press statement by way of Codemasters. And I will read. Codemasters is most famous in the United States for publishing the Dirt series of rally racers, which featured the name and likeness of the late Colin McRae. However, the Britain-based publisher has a presence in other genres as well, such as the first-person shooter Turning Point Fall of Liberty, which imagines an alternate history where the Nazis conquer Europe and invade the US. Future playthrough candidate there, by the way, just to be clear. Another alt history game. Codemasters had some sort of thing for it. And so GameSpot also says, now it appears Codemasters is returning to the alternate history well for a much more radical title. Today, the publisher announced Damnation, a shooter gone vertical that will feature acrobatic-oriented gameplay focused on vehicular combat in a huge open environments. Said vehicles will include agile motorcycles and slower, armored means of conveyance. Story-wise, the game subscribes to the steampunk pantheon of science fiction, which envisions rapid industrialization bringing 20th century innovations into the 19th century. In Damnation, this technological acceleration is precipitated by an alternate US Civil War, which rages for decades into the early 1900s. As a result, the natural and industrial resources of the East Coast are exhausted, forcing the Union and Confederacy to go west in search of new war supplies. There, they encounter said arms dealer, whose arsenal includes a steam-powered giant robot. Damnation is being developed by Annapolis, Maryland-based studio Blue Omega, which won Epic Games' Make Something Unreal competition with a prototype of the game. It is currently set for release on the PC, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3 in late 2008. Edward says that 720p makes this impossible. It's just a screenshot. That's why we link to the articles. You can just click on the GameSpot link in the chat right now, or in the description of the YouTube video. That's why I'm reading. That's why I choose to read these out loud in some capacity, the pertinent bits. And pertinently, something I noticed from different other sites also posted bits from the press statement where it saw fit to announce Damnation. But like a lot of them, it seems like Codemasters did not include the information that this had started off as an Unreal Tournament mod. That's just not something that they provided. It's basically like it took one outlet discovering the origins of the game as an Unreal, or remembering the origins of the Make Something Unreal contest. I think it may have been like Worth Playing, or some other source, basically, that everyone started pulling their information from, that everyone started, like, you know, using to fill out their announcement articles by saying, like, oh, and it started off as a winner of the Make Unreal contest, or what have you, which is just interesting. So what that tells me is that Codemasters weren't necessarily banking on marketing this game as having started life as a mod. Not by this point, but what was happening around the same time was, of course, Chaos Studios developing Homefront, having started as Battlefield modders, if you'll recall that game's history. And that's a team where, when they got picked up by a major publisher, they were pushing the angle heavy that they had started as people who had worked on the Desert Combat mod for Battlefield 1942, and then had experience working on Battlefield 2 proper. That's a story we'll have to tell properly one of these days. I know we have a playthrough of Homefront on the channel. I want to redo that at some point with a proper history section attached. But this was an era of modders becoming developers. This was, you know, the late 90s into the early to mid 2000s was a golden era of people who would start by making modifications, would start by making, like, you know, alternate game modes for multiplayer games, you know, like taking Half-Life multiplayer and making Counter-Strike, for example, and then getting hired by major publishers or major studios, getting hired on to develop proper games, or take these existing concepts, these mods, and turning them into full-fledged releases. We see that with the Make Something Unreal contest. We see that with the likes of Red Orchestra and Alien Swarm, etc., etc. We see that with Counter-Strike being picked up officially by Valve, and we're seeing it here with Codemasters recognizing this scrappy team of modders, seeing Damnation, seeing the thing they made for Unreal, and seeing that they could probably, with a proper Unreal license, that if they were the ones to facilitate buying that license for them, that they would make a game in that style. They would have the ability to produce something of quality for them potentially. It may not go that way in the long term. It may deviate a little bit from that intended trajectory, but it's not a bad concept. This isn't doomed from the start, right? There was hope here, and I think there were competent hands. That mod, I could play it. I played a little bit of the mod just recently. I actually have it. I could load it up. We could play a little bit of that before we play the game proper. I could play the Unreal Tournament 2004 version of Damnation. But, for what it is impressive, and I can see people who were able to produce that within Unreal 2004 potentially being able to, with Unreal Engine 3, which is what they would be working with at this point, being able to do something with that that reflects their unique design philosophies, some of the unique concepts they had, something like a unique story. I mean, not super unique, but unique enough for the time. You weren't getting a whole bunch of alt history games at around this time. This was still the era of the World War II shooter, for example. So something outside of that cast was still somewhat unique. And so work is occurring. Work is happening between the years 2005 and 2009, ultimately. This screenshot's not supposed to be here. It's supposed to be a different screenshot in this place. Hold on. Oy vey. Give me a second here.
Yes.
I love it when OBS doesn't detect changes to my slideshow. I love it when it forgets that I have different images that I want to put into it. That was Adam Diller, by the way, who was a concept artist or a some sort of technical artist on the game.
Well, got to see our favorite freeware font again.
And now it's just not showing me the image. Okay, cool, great. And now we're set back to, I think I hate the slideshow function in OBS. I think it's a piece of shit. Let me just go ahead, manually load this image. I just wanted to show some concept art. That's all I wanted to do, was just to show us some cool concept art here. See, isn't that neat?
That is neat.
So there is, prior to the game's release, some number of interviews given. Mostly, again, Jacob Minkoff. There's this interview at spong.com that's conducted and posted in January 2009. And, they don't give away much. This isn't necessarily interesting material. But what is interesting to me, and how uninteresting it is that there is a compilation of behind-the-scenes featurettes, sort of like sizzle reel stuff they would send to the likes of GameSpot, IGN, for them to post on their websites, 2 to 3 little minute featurette videos showing, hey, here's some work-in-progress footage, and, here's me, Jacob Minkoff, talking about, what it is to be a lead designer and to level design the game. Other faces you see in some of these. Actually, let me link this first. This is a compilation of the behind-the-scenes featurettes for Damnation that was compiled and posted by Searching for Other Players on YouTube. It's about 20 minutes. It's made up of about 5 or 6 parts. It's none of them are particularly groundbreaking. None of the segments are particularly give anything away about the game. It's all very standard stuff. But you do get interviews with Jacob Minkoff, as mentioned, Carl Schell, the game's technical art director, Adam Diller, the game's just general art director, and producer Richard Gilbert. They talk about coming together as a team, their unified vision. Talking up the steampunk angle a lot. They're very excited about how steampunk the game is. As a matter of fact, the last 2 minutes of this compilation, the last featurette they put out, is in fact just a 2-minute sizzle reel that they went to a steampunk convention, just walked around with a camera and interviewed random steampunk nerds. And
was this the height of the steampunk era?
Yeah, I think so, around this time, yeah.
And I'm sorry. We have to watch this. I have to make fun of some steampunk nerds. I need to. Here we go.
I don't got anything against steampunk, but man, is it boring to me. It's not for me.
Steampunk is an underground aesthetic movement that also has literary and
Victorian Vixen.
The idea is to look at the world as if
Is that her legal name or
and not electricity. We're harkening back to the technology as something that you can actually see working.
When I see a watch, ticking, and I see gears working against each other, it's more of a physical thing. You can really get a handle on it. You can watch it work like a steam engine.
Really get a chubby out of it.
My car, I don't know how it works.
I mean, you've got the
Just straight up admitting, I don't know how cars work, but, watches, that's about my level of complexity. It is gears, that's about as much as I can figure out and parse.
the great thing about steampunk is
Remember when Dishonored did whale oil punk?
it's pulling from the science fiction
Yes, unfortunately.
community, but it's also pulling from the makers community, and these are people who are really interested.
I bet this convention hall smells fucking awful.
Found
Just imagine.
that is functional.
It probably smells like brass,
Makers
Yeah.
you know?
It's the ideal of
Uh-oh.
inventing things and taking things from history and making it into a
Oh, that's a name I haven't thought of in a minute.
what kind of the pulp culture of the Victorian days would be.
You see people wearing stuff that they've created. So
I'm just counting how many goggles they're wearing. It's like almost every single person says
These wings
the
are
goggles on them somewhere.
target.
My problem with steampunk is like
Steampunk rule, it only works.
they take a bunch of like pieces of aesthetic that are cool by themselves, that I think are interesting by themselves, and mash them up in a way that I think just makes it
Who makes these things? And
too busy and like it kind of ruins the whole look.
feel like the real thing, like as if such a real thing could exist, but it feel like a real antique firearm.
Yeah, I feel like the too busy though is part of the
Yeah.
aesthetic.
Science fiction,
So
it's from an earlier jumping off point in time.
It's so versatile. There's so many things you can do. You can take it in the direction.
I think
I'm
it just got-
taking
it got
and
too
add that
oversaturated
occult
at a
feel.
point.
You can take it and be like a purist and just be brass. You can be Lincoln with a Gatling gun arm. You can be anything.
Wow, sounds really cool. I don't know, that ain't for me, man. That whole aesthetic, I think it's fucking lame. The hats with the goggles on, I see someone wearing that, and it's swirly time, bitch. I'm sorry.
Like put the goggles,
put the goggles
like,
on
under the
while
hat.
you're having this.
Or put the goggles, I'll put the goggles on or something. Or put it around your neck or something. They don't do you any good on your hat unless you're like Balin of Balin Wonderland. You
Yeah,
just
yeah.
pull that hat down over you, now the goggles work.
At least the goggles help if
Steampunk
you do
Balin,
get-
wait a minute. Ichinaka.
Ooh.
Any
the goggles
You
will
get a
help with
cake,
the
we get a
swirly, though.
cake, and we need to
But-
hide my little ideas in there and slip them to him in jail. And that no, he's not. He's not in jail.
So yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Wonder World. So
Wonderworld.
while this is
I-
happening,
Yeah, fuck him, fuck his game, and fuck calling it the right thing.
watch our playthrough, folks. So while all this is happening, while they're attending steampunk conventions and getting B-roll and doing whatever it is they're doing, what they don't get into in any of the interviews is the fact that there's a massive amount of outsourcing happening behind the scenes, outsourcing that will become a big issue as we get into the post-release. Chef Chelios, no, seriously, what were people reacting to? And I'm in a pizzeria, so I can't hear the stream to begin with. Well, let me help you let me help you finish your pizza. You should probably, watch the stream with the audio on while we're doing a history section. I don't know. Maybe I'll just, kick you for a little while, and you can figure out how to multitask in future. So while this development is happening, there are issues brewing behind the scenes. We will get into those issues a little bit later. But this is also where the release windows get missed. This is also where, that the initial 2008 release window is missed, and then they start putting more internal release windows together that also get missed. It seems like a real mess. We'll get into exactly. You will understand the mess to be as we get into postmortems, like proper postmortems of Damnation, interviews conducted after the retail games release. And so we will continue as soon as I get to, assuming the next slide loads up properly, assuming that this should be the IGN review of the game. Thank you. So yes, Damnation releases on the appointed date, that being between May and June of 2009. And I have a few reviews here. I have a few different scores here. Highest scoring review I could find comes from GamesExtreme.com, the highest reputable source, and this is a barely reputable source. There was one 85% scoring review from some no-name site, but I ignored that to get to this one from Games Extreme. A reviewer by the name of Wolf And this is about the nicest anyone has been about this game. Charkie, why don't you read this one? Can you read this one? Are you able to read this review for me as I bring it up on screen?
Let me see. All right. There's a saying, damned if you do, and damned if you don't. I've looked at the various reviews of Damnation on various platforms from our gaming peers, and I've come to a conclusion that Damnation is a game that falls into that category. Damnation could have been a pretty good contender a year or so ago. However, with the newest game engines, prettier graphics of other games, and the fact that vertical combat isn't exactly a new thing since the Tomb Raider games evolved, and we've seen a lot of true VC in Capcom's Dark Void videos, Damnation deserves kudos for trying a hard genre, a hard game style, and attempting to add a fresh new coat of paint to an old painting. It just doesn't quite work. A case of too little and definitely too late. It is a fun, at times, and quirky game, though, that's worth persevering with, despite the bugs.
Very good. Yeah, generous. Generous enough, I would say. Games like this are going to find, their niches, their audiences. So I'm not begrudging the fact that a high scoring review exists. I think it's worth hearing them out, but it is definitely not the norm. The norm for this was definitely middling to low, mostly averaging in around like the 30% zone. So I have here a middle scoring review, something like a median. This would be a 5.0 scoring review, posted on Destructoid by one James Stephanie Sterling back in the day. Johnny, would you mind to read this one here?
Yeah. What do you get if you marry Gears of War shooting action and Prince of Persia aerobatics, wrapping the whole creation up in a post-apocalyptic steampunk aesthetic? You should get something absolutely awesome. In the grim and bitter realm of reality, however, you instead get Damnation. I want to call Damnation ludicrous, because parts of it certainly are. However, I fear in doing so, it'd lend the game far more credibility and notoriety than it actually deserves. There is multiplayer, but I couldn't get into it, either due to a lack of players or a lack of it working. I can't imagine it would be better with human players, though, because you need to be about as dumb as the enemy AI to enjoy Damnation enough to take it online. The whole doll package is complemented by some bottom-of-the-barrel graphics that require lengthy loading times without any good reason. Why is it that games that look bad always seem to take longer to load than games that actually have amazing graphics? I've never understood that. Anyway, this is what Damnation does, presumably in an attempt to become an even bigger waste of time than it is. Damnation is not exactly a terrible game. As a shooter, it does the bare minimum required to be considered competent. It's just incredibly mediocre and pointless, that it makes me wonder exactly how games like this even get the green light. There is simply no good reason for Damnation to exist. In fact, by the time this review is ready to post, I've forgotten that it's ever been done.
Very good. Yeah, that's about to be expected, isn't it? That's about the typical Stephanie Sterling review of the era.
Era, yeah.
But the last review I'll cite here is IGN's review of the game, which is also pictured here. This is a review by Greg Miller on behalf of IGN. It is a 2.5 scoring review, so that equates to like a 25%, which is, again, like what most reviews, most outlets were like settling around on the low end. And I will read, Damnation is very bad. You can come over to my desk right now, randomly choose a level for me to show you, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. There's screen tearing everywhere, the textures are hideous, the voice acting is terrible, the animations are robotic, there's no voice chat in multiplayer, the story is poorly laid out, and the gunplay is no fun. I can go like this all day, but I think you get the point. See, Damnation is a train wreck from the very start. If you're using a controller, you aim with the shoulder button, but moving the reticle is imprecise. If you use the mouse and keyboard, aiming is more precise, but you can still shoot through half walls. When you encounter an enemy, lots of times the zombie, wolf creature, whatever, will just stand there and let you shoot him to death. The game hitches and hiccups whenever you're doing this, whenever you're doing the most basic of moves, and the muddy textures on the wall are embarrassing. Even beyond visuals, it's not fun to sit there, slowly move the crosshairs on top of a bad guy and shoot the non-moving person until he collapses. There's no reason for you to play Damnation. It fails at being a worthwhile title on all fronts. The gameplay isn't fun, the levels are too long, the sound is bad, and the story isn't interesting. There are more problems, but I'll leave my written flogging at that. Avoid this game at all costs. Again, not so warmly received, one might say. Yeah, no, it definitely reflects a game that was had its ambitions muddied, and it did have high ambitions. That something went wrong here behind the scenes, and people would figure out what within about a month's time of the game releasing, as come June of 2009, specifically June 23rd. One Jeff Rowland, a member of the Blue Omega team who had the Twitter handle Goth Haggis, would post on June 23rd, 2009, that the entire Blue Omega team was laid off today, well, starting Friday. If anyone has job openings, send them my way and I'll pass them on. This ended up becoming something of a news story. Many outlets would report on the closure of the studio and the announcement of it coming by means of tweet. One of the first to cover the story is might be God Haggis says Brush of Chaos. I think you might be right. I like the idea of Goth Haggis though. Twisted, fucked up Haggis. Shack News were one of the first people to look into the circumstances of the closure and to dig up what had happened behind the scenes. They dig up legal documents and quote from them. So they find a legal filing that Blue Omega had submitted to the courts, and to read some points from it. Point 16, Velvet Elvis Studios' failures forced Blue Omega to divert resources, incur costs, and retain another contractor, all in an effort to complete and remedy the unfinished and unacceptable product provided by VES, Velvet Elvis Studios. Point 17, VES's untimely provision of deliverables also rendered it impossible for Blue Omega to meet its deadline with Codemasters, thereby causing Blue Omega to incur additional costs and expenses. Point of order 23, on January 14th, 2009, Codemasters sent Blue Omega a letter dated January 13th, 2009, terminating the developer agreement. Point 26. Blue Omega, however, has obtained documents and other evidence which proves that Point of View, developer Point of View, previously responsible for Narc, see our playthrough on the show of that, continuing to work on the game. And Point of View is uploading code from the game to a third party, reasonably believed to be Codemasters. Blue Omega has also received a copy of an email between POV and Scott Kramarish, the Codemasters employee assigned to oversee the development of the game, regarding POV's ongoing work on the game. That's some amount of legal jargon that may be a little bit difficult to navigate or to parse, given that it's just snippets. Luckily, Ars Technica, in their coverage of the same story, gives us a sort of simplified version of that story, of those events that transpired. And so I will read. The story boils down to this. Blue Omega hired two other developers to do some contract work on the title, Velvet Elvis Studio and Point of View. At one point, a lawsuit was filed by Blue Omega, claiming that Codemasters had forcibly removed Blue Omega from the game while still having Point of View work on it. Though Blue Omega voluntarily dismissed that suit later on, another was filed later this year claiming that Velvet Elvis's work was so shoddy and late that it caused Blue Omega to miss its own deadlines with Codemasters. While it isn't directly stated, it certainly implied that a lot of time and money was wasted trying to fix Velvet Elvis's mistakes. Blue Omega had to bring in another contractor to do this, and the overall quality of the game suffered as a result. When they say Blue Omega had to bring in another contractor, I would speculate that's where Liquid Development comes in. My understanding here from looking at the credits, which Velvet Elvis are completely excised from the credits of the final product, despite the work that they did put into the game. Because again, most of it had to be replaced, and because they caused so many issues. So I believe they were probably doing like asset creation. They were probably doing art direction. Velvet Elvis is still around in some capacity, and I believe their website describes them as a creative studio focused on cinematic design, atmosphere, and visual storytelling, inspired by retro Americana, music culture, and immersive experiences. So I think they were doing like art asset and asset production stuff, maybe some world building stuff. And so Liquid Development, for their part, are a contractor who does asset creation, art creation for games that they are very frequently consulted on some major games to this day. Like I think Halo Infinite still uses submissions from contract work from Liquid Development. So they're still around as well. And so I think that's where they stepped in to replace those assets to do those sort of last minutes, if I were to speculate here. But yeah, this was definitely an issue of of multiple teams being put to work on the project, Blue Omega being dissatisfied with the work that was coming their way, Codemasters being further dissatisfied by the work that Blue Omega was submitting to them, trying to screw Blue Omega by canceling their work contract and having Point of View finish the game in their place, which doesn't work out necessarily. I mean, that's ultimately the way it goes. That Point of View seems to be the ones to send it home, to finish it, to take what Blue Omega had produced and to stitch it into something like a finished product, if I were to speculate. But again, a lot of speculation. We do have, we'll get a little bit more on this. We'll maybe get a little more clarification with a interview with Jacob Minkoff later on. But for now, there is one more point. There is one more game we have to address here. One more product that Blue Omega were able to put out after being shuttered. Meet Attack of the Dust Bunnies. So Blue Omega, while they were running the studio that would put out Damnation, also had a mobile division, Blue Omega Mobile, and they put out a game called Attack of the Dust Bunnies on iOS on July 3rd, 2009. Very much outside of the wheelhouse of Damnation. This is like it's a gallery shooter. It is a game where you tap on the screen to shoot dust bunnies, and if you hold it down, you shoot missiles. And it's very silly. It's very slight. It did not make an impact, but you can see footage of it on the Blue Omega Mobile YouTube channel, which is still up and exclusively features about like 3 to 4 videos of gameplay footage of this game. I'll also note, the fact that this came out July 3rd, so this would have been after, again, everyone was released from the company. And so this comes up in Gamma Sutra, now game developers' coverage of the Blue Omega layoff situation and the legal woes and so forth. They actually follow up with God Haggis, Jeff Rowland et al., who says this about Attack of the Dust Bunnies. The majority of the team was laid off shortly after submitting our first iPhone game to Apple. It's a really fun game with a sense of humor, and I hope that it sells well. I think the hope is, if sales of the iPhone game go well, the team will get back together to develop smaller scoped games. While it is difficult to have been laid off in this economy, I think it is more difficult to no longer be working with the awesome team we had at Blue Omega Entertainment. Needless to say, they didn't get back together. They did not come back together to deliver more smaller scoped mobile-oriented products. This was the first and last from Blue Omega Mobile, and the first and last from Blue Omega in general would result as Damnation. And so, we'll move along to a post-mortem on Retail Damnation, released January 2013, posted to VentureBeat, featuring an interview with Jacob Minkoff, mentioned many times in this article so far. And there's a lot to get into here. And again, I recommend reading this whole thing for yourself if you are so compelled to, if the playthrough here interests you and you want to learn more about the game. But I do have some pretty heavy quotation on this one. This was an interview conducted, and it also features commentary by one Lee Harrison, who opens the article by saying this. The product of first-time developer Blue Omega Entertainment, Damnation was to be a revolutionary combination of fast and hard gunplay, vehicular combat, and traversal, and a sprawling, organic level design. Its story would sidestep cliches by reimagining the American Civil War as a conflict driven by steam, not gunpowder, where airships, mechs, and giant tanks were common sights. History and fantasy would collide in a maelstrom of bullets, acrobatics, and heroism, resulting in a game quite unlike anything that had come before it. The team realized almost everything it set out to achieve, though, often in only the most tenuous of ways. The game was universally criticized as being awkward and stilted, visually bland, incoherent, and half-finished. Blue Omega was aiming high with Damnation. It wanted to create huge battlefields that player and adversary alike could traverse in any way they saw fit. It was seeking to create both organic locations and enemies, throw the player into the mix, and watch the emergent gameplay spiral out of control in the most fantastic of ways. Things eventually did spiral, though no one, especially the player, benefited in the least. And we'll skip ahead, get into some of the actual interview quotations, some of the interview snippets, some of the Jacob Minkoff commentary and postmorteming. When we started, we just didn't consider the possibility that we could fail, said Minkoff, rationalizing his team's high expectations. Please note, I said it was a certain amount of pride. There is no room for self-doubt in the creation of any great work. He does, however, concede that Damnation was a product of a green team that didn't really know what they were doing. It was my first professional game development project. The same was true of many members of the core team. This is me interjecting to say, yes, I did, in the Unreal Tournament 2004 version of Damnation, I checked the credits, to see, who had worked on that version, and then I cross-referenced that against the credits of the retail game, and it's a lot of crossover. All the Blue Omega people, they really did bring mostly people on from the mod team, people who were not experienced game developers. They brought in a few ringers, but most of the experience that people had would have been like, I think a few of them came from like the team that did like Myst, not the original Myst, but like Uru Myst, whatever Myst Squeakquel that is. Some people have been like in the industry since like yeah, it's like maybe early 2000s. Maybe a couple from the late 90s, but it was mostly that original team. So again, inexperienced, being helmed by a few senior designers, and then, ultimately being kept on track by Codemasters producers. It seems that Blue Omega's hefty aspirations, some of which bordered on the ridiculous, were born out of inexperience rather than any tested and proven knowledge. With this in mind, sound bites like hundreds of animations per character and the most detailed AI routines yet seen cease sounding like possibly attainable goals and become hyperbolic and fantastical. The eagerness of the team also led them to overlook the huge challenge set by the new console hardware they were developing for. We were on the cusp of a new generation, and we learned lessons that have since become common knowledge in game development, said Minkov. In trying to expand upon Damnation so dramatically while working with new hardware, Blue Omega tried to accomplish too much too soon. Making a sprawling, theoretically, AAA game on a console and PC was simply too much for us to handle, said Minkov. This problem was only exacerbated by the decision to outsource large portions of the game and maintain an uncommonly small in-house team. This strategy was initially intended to afford this core team the greatest level of flexibility, allow it to adapt through development. As Minkov revealed, this simply was not the case in practice. Outsourcing was a problem. You need the time, experience, and budget to turn on a dime, to throw out what you've made and try something else quickly and within constraints. We did not have the resources or knowledge to do that at Blue Omega. This inflexibility, caused by inexperience in outsourcing, led to the game's woefully protracted development cycle. Few games command 4 years to make, and when they do finally see release, it's usually justified with high levels of polish and production value. This was the opposite for Damnation. The longer it stayed in development, the more out of touch and less impressive it became. Level architecture, AI, textures, animations, movement, physics, audio mixing, sound effects, dialogue, cutscenes, acting, weapons, and general common sense all had their merits eroded over the years it took Damnation to gestate. The most detailed AI routines yet seen devolved into enemies standing in place until the player came within 20 feet and activated them. Considering levels were hundreds of feet long, wide, and often high, this left a huge margin for error. Entire enemy encounters could be circumvented with only a sniper rifle and steady aim as foes were picked off one at a time, all elements of challenge, tension, or believability falling away to reveal Damnation's hollow interior. This is not simply me being cruel. Every mechanic, design decision, and art asset suffers the same terrible, crushing, worst-case scenario fate. Nothing holds up as it should. While the game showed so much promise and its team so much enthusiasm, its ultimate downfall was to be sealed by forces that cared little for either. In the end, you usually run out of time or money. With Damnation, we ran out of both. One of the primary reasons why you see so much architectural reuse is because it was cheaper to pay for a retexture than all new geometry. It also took less time to do, giving us more hope of meeting our release dates. This is what I find so frustrating with Damnation. It could have been a great game had the team been more experienced, focused, and time efficient. Minkov sees a silver lining. Many games never ship at all because the investment to make the game simply pass console certification would be prohibitive. That it shipped at all is a triumph for Damnation's team. His positivity likely emanates from where Damnation took him next and where he was able to take its fundamental concepts. After the game's completion, Minkov moved to Naughty Dog and designed some of the most memorable sections of the Uncharted sequels. There, he was finally able to realize his ambitions for Damnation thanks to an experienced team and appropriate resources. That the similar yet vastly superior first Uncharted game was in development at the same time as Damnation and saw release 2 years earlier to critical acclaim is an irony that is not lost on Minkov. Instead of wallowing in the past, however, he is looking toward the future and building upon his first game's auspicious past.
Everyone say, thank you, Damnation, all together.
Well, last line, as spoken by Jacob Minkov. Everyone has to learn somewhere. I learned on Damnation. So yes, thank you, Damnation, because this guy goes on to do plenty of stuff in the industry, let's say. We'll get to that in a minute as well. let me just give, this is the point, where obviously Blue Omega shut down. There's not any coverage, like anything to say about, whatever games they released afterwards, because they didn't release any games afterwards. But I figure we should follow up on some of the other studios involved, some of the other players involved. I'll say that Liquid Development continues to produce additional art for games. Some credits I listed here. There's too many to fucking list. They did art asset production for the Beatles rock band, Mass Effect 3, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Valorant, the Suicide Squad game, Borderlands 3, Halo Infinite. The list goes on and on. So yeah, subcontractors still getting play, especially ones that can just produce assets on demand for you. What about Velvet Elvis? Well, they continue to persist as a transmedia production house. Not what you think it is, unfortunately. I mentioned their blurb earlier that says that where they refer to themselves as a creative studio focused on cinematic design, atmosphere, visual storytelling, etc., 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 retro Americana, music culture, immersive experience. The studio creates work with personality and style. They never, anywhere on their website, acknowledge their brief time in game development, which is why, and also given their company history, I imagine that what they were doing amounted to, like, asset production, rather than any programming, rather than any, like, having any engineers. That does not seem like their forte, does not seem like their lane to stay in. And the fact they didn't work on any other video games after this, or before this for that matter, as far as I can vet, would point to that being, like, the scope of their contribution in the first place. Point of view, as we mentioned, responsible for the 2005 video game Narc, is what I'll always say when it comes to point of view. They'd only last another year. They provided some supplemental work on The Saboteur, dealing with another sort of a history-based game. And then their final video game would have been TNA Impact Cross the Line on PSP, releasing in around 2010. Then they just liquidated. They ran out of money, apparently. Their work for Codemasters didn't pay the bills. Their work on Damnation, swooping in at the last second, wasn't a viable business model. Who'da thunk? Michael Urbanski, one of the founders, who may well have been like the guy who came up with the concept for Damnation, or at the very least put the money behind it, got the players together. What did he get up to? Well, he continues to run Heavy Hammer as a CEO. He also runs another real estate service, another service for real estate agents by the name of Quazzoo. Quazzoo, which is a company that he's CEO and founder of. That's an awful name. Sounds name for
like
a
the
company.
Name of a streaming service that only doesn't stream horizontally, vertically, but at an angle.
Ooh, I like that. I was gonna say that sounds like a rejected Flintstones character. The curious, the quizzitive Quazzoo. As for the rest, I mean, he's doing fine. Just to give like a code on there, I'm sure he's doing fine. I'm sure he's making plenty of money. You can find like the rare video of him telling people like how to do great follow-ups and selling and salesmanship and so forth. So he's like one of those money brain guys. I don't think he had much passion for the game industry. I think he saw it as a potential lane that he could pursue. At the same time, he was doing film production. I think he's just like a money guy, and he bombed out of the games industry and did not make an attempt to get back into it. And that's fine. We don't need that many folk in that lane. We only need so many money people who don't give a shit about the end product. So he can do whatever he wants, I guess. Most of the rest of the Blue Omega team, who had started as modders and ended with Blue Omega. Most of them did not continue in the games industry. I checked basically every name on the credits for the Blue Omega team, and most of them just fall off the face of the earth, at least as far as the games industry is concerned. I'm sure they all find programming jobs or design jobs in other fields and other mediums. But I would imagine that this whole experience probably burnt them, probably killed their passion for working in the industry, which again speaks to the people who worked at Chaos Studios, the Homefront story, and how that game ended up becoming a meat grinder that took these passionate modders and ground the passion for developing games right out of them. It's a shame. But there is one success story here. There is one guy who rose above this game, who had learned his lessons, who took his diploma from the School of Hard Knocks and turned it into an honest-to-God career in game development. And that is, of course, Jacob Minkoff, who is seen being interviewed here as the lead designer on The Last of Us. So he worked as a game designer at Naughty Dog between 2009 and 2011. So he gets laid off, Blue Omega, and then is picked up by Naughty Dog. He does his game designer bit there, gets promoted to lead game designer in 2011. So games that he works on include the likes of Uncharted 2 and 3 and The Last of Us. So it's a pretty good fucking resume, I would say. I'd say that, being lead designer on one of the most critically acclaimed games of the past, 15, 16 years is a pretty good feather in your hat. say what you will about that game, but that's, that's moving up in the industry. And speaking of moving up, Jacob would leave Naughty Dog in 2014, along with his friend and co-worker, Taylor Kurosaki, who both migrated to Infinity Ward that same year, where they'd spend the better part of a 7-year tenure providing design work for the likes of Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare, the 2019 Modern Warfare reboot, and the Warzone game mode. And they would often be interviewed. Jacob would, again, be like the front-facing person for a lot of, like, the discussion around, like, at game press events. It would be Jacob on the floor repping the fucking Infinity Ward booth, repping for, like, Call of Duty and talking about the game's design. So he was pretty savvy in front of a microphone. He was pretty savvy when you put him in front of a camera or a microphone and in talking to the press. He seems very, like, genuinely skilled in that way, as well as, like, being, like, probably a pretty good designer, I'd have to imagine. I'd have to guess. But evidently, his work at Infinity Ward was not particularly satisfying in terms of satisfying his ambitions as a designer, especially as he was being made to focus primarily on multiplayer components. He really wanted to work on single-player experiences, as you might have gathered from his work on games the likes of The Last of Us and Uncharted. And so Jacob and Taylor, Taylor Kurosaki, again, they leave together. They leave Infinity Ward in order to help found the studio That's No Moon, an independent development studio established in July 2021 with an emphasis on single-player narrative experiences. Here we have a Polygon article covering the establishment of That's No Moon in July 2021, where Taylor Kurosaki says this. The idea of a single-player game was also part of the way that That's No Moon Chief Creative Officer Taylor Kurosaki, formerly a narrative designer lead at Naughty Dog and studio narrative director at Infinity Ward, pitched the studios to developers it wanted to recruit. I guess that was a setup for his quote, which is, "The ground floor pitch we've been saying is that we're singularly focused on single-player, narratively driven action-adventure storytelling. Starting a AAA studio is a tall undertaking, but our aspirations are to be the best in class right out of the gate." That was in 2021. It's 2026 now. They have not put out a video game. What they did put out, literally a month ago, June 5th, 2026, was finally the official announcement of their first game, soon to debut, ostensibly. A little game by the name of Crossfire that I have a bit of a snippet on from the that'snomoon.com official website, in which a press statement reads, "For the past several years, the team at That's No Moon has been quietly building something very special together. Today, we're excited to finally share the reveal trailer for Crossfire. From the very beginning, we aligned around a clear North Star. Narrative and design should not exist separately from one another. The story should shape the gameplay, and the gameplay should deepen the story. Every mechanic, every player action, every emotional beat should feel inseparable from one another. That idea shaped every aspect of Crossfire. At the center of the story are two ideologically opposed operators, player character Layla Qasim and her reluctant ally, Delroy Cross. Forced into a fragile alliance against a deadly threat that vastly outnumbers them, their survival depends on trust, adaptability, movement, and the ability to think under pressure alongside someone they were trained to see as the enemy."
You see the trailer?
Quote. I did not see the trailer.
I saw it, I think when it premiered last month, and it made me go, huh.
Looks like a narrative FPS.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, not impressed, huh? But like a, huh.
And
I thought it was going to be single player focused. I was like, oh, huh.
So that's what they're working on for 5 years, and maybe some more years to follow. I'm amazed this studio is still operating, given that they've had no output. Maybe they must be doing like contractor work. They must be doing like uncredited, like supplemental programming. They must be picking up like contracts in between working on like this project of theirs, because I can't imagine any other like business plan that's allowed them to persist this long. So it's a very curious thing, but I do hope that their game comes out. I do hope that Jacob Minkoff is feeling creatively fulfilled. I am glad that, he took his lumps and learned his lessons from Damnation, that this weird game we're going to play through and make fun of now was the launchpad for at least one person who stuck around and made a name for themselves in the industry. Humble beginnings. So what takeaways do we have from that? Well, I cook something up in the background real quick.
Yeah.
While I try to get something working.
The specific 2013 interview that mentions 4 year, that's a very long time for a video game to be made. That's really funny by 2026 standards. But it is amazing to see where Jacob went, because you consider how poorly Damnation seems to be received, and going from that to being a like lead designer on, regardless how people feel about it, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, The Last of Us are probably like some of the most critically acclaimed 7th generation video games ever made. Like, you know, they might not be on people's personal list, but in terms of like renown, like that is a huge step up. And it's funny, when I was trying to figure out what vertical combat meant, I
Yeah.
was trying to think, like, is that kind of like Uncharted? And it's like, oh wow, straight up, yes, Uncharted 2 is what Damnation was trying to be. So now I'm
think,
really curious about this.
I think we should look at the game and try to compare it to, you know, not directly say like, oh, this doesn't do it as good as Uncharted 2, but you know, to look and see like if there's connective tissue that we can like discern from this,
Yeah.
you know, the full game when we get to it, versus what the team members went on to do.
Yeah.
See if we can see things that might have carried over.
Also, the one thing the Wikipedia article did at least seem to confirm is that I didn't play this, because when I ever look at pictures of this, I can never tell. I'm like, maybe I played this, maybe this was a demo I downloaded, but no, there was no demo. But just whenever I look at screenshots, there are a couple of 7th generation Unreal 3 games that look like Damnation if you like glance at it. That I really could not figure out if I played it or not.
I keep thinking
But I
it's
don't think I
Dark
did.
Watch.
So yeah, with that all being said and covered, we should begin the game, why don't we? We were going to play the original Unreal Tournament 2004 version of Damnation, but that is just a nightmare to hook into. That is just, it could not work, could not get audio and video working at the same time. So instead, we will just have to jump into the game proper. And we'll have that loaded in just a minute with any luck. Any second now.
This game running 4:3 or is it widescreen?
It is, in fact, widescreen. I think you can run it in a 4:3 mode, but I'd rather not.
There we go.
Yeah. 7th gen 16:9 was the standard, though for a couple of years some games did support 4:3 for a little bit.
People
So
better be
this
hearing
is
this
what
shit.
it says.
In fact, let me alt tab, make sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay,
that
good.
is coming through on the stream.
So what we have here, what we have available to us are the campaign. That is our single-player campaign, as well as co-op. There is co-op mode in this campaign for those brave enough to torture a friend with it. There's also versus multiplayer that is long since defunct, that I believe relied on GameSpy. I think people have figured out how to use OpenSpy to facilitate people playing this online. So hopefully we'll just get through the single player campaign, and hopefully later on down the line we can hopefully get into some multiplayer hijinks. I'm seeing messages in chat about the audio sounding bad or not being able to hear the game and only being able to hear my voice. Now, let's get this on lock. Let's figure this out.
The stream can hear it. Don't worry.
Okay. Be clear
I'm
about that
checking.
shit in chat, folks.
Yeah.
Let's get the campaign going. A solo campaign, if you will. I'll start a new one, why don't I? Overwrite my checkpoints. Insane difficulty has to be unlocked, presumably by beating hardcore difficulty, which the description for which reads, "You aren't afraid of getting shot at," whereas casually is for if you're highly trained with a squirt gun, I should say. What do you think we should do? I think hardcore is probably normal, right?
Yeah, that's just normal. So it's a shooter game. You're good at those.
Any man could recall a great war raged across the sovereignty. Two armies battled until blood ran as rivers, and both forces fell to dust. From the lawless chaos, a new power arose and spread across the land, leading us all into damnation.
Saw the newspaper said that the machines were courtesy of a man named Prescott, so I applaud the restraint in not making a Tesla again.
That's a tiny ass army if you really look at it from this zoomed out view. That's not a lot of units. It's not a lot of troops.
I think the 2 big tanks make up for it. So are these Confederate ninjas or?
Good question.
Hey, where are the Civil War reenactors who do this shit? Ah, shit, that was my only one. Time out, everybody.
Edward21S says, the Confederates were only fighting for the rights to be ninjas. They were only fighting for the right to use cool swords and...
Yeah. And what did those ninjas do, huh? Yeah.
War crimes. No, I guess it needs to be said, Civil War, American Civil War was just fought over slavery. Anyone who says he was about states' rights is a fucking liar. It's a fucking larper of history.
Yeah, the states' rights to do slavery. Let's be clear.
Stompers. They're so boiled, I bet they piss green.
Prescott's making the serum stronger. Search them for a sample. I'll take a look at it later.
Yep, testosterone.
We'll meet them head on at Arrow Tree Bridge.
Now it's loud.
If we leave now, we can make it in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the volume levels in this game, for the cutscenes in particular, are very low. I hope it was still clearly audible. It should have been like the 30 decibel range, or minus 30.
At least clearly subtitled.
Yes, and I should probably use this opportunity to move the chat up a little bit so that the subtitles are not obfuscated.
Yeah, this comes from Edward21, but it's a similar thought that I had, that this does look very good for a PlayStation 2 game.
And then, oh wait.
Yeah.
And I'll shrink us down a little bit.
I'm still...
as well.
I don't know if I'm gaslighting myself. I still feel like I played this. It looks like a game I played. But
it looks like a lot of games.
Yeah.
I think the thing of it is that it looks like a lot of games. A lot of games looked like this at a moment in time during a particular console generation. Can you guess which one?
Yeah. But, like, even though it does look very Unreal 7th Gen, I can see in a lot of ways the production values are very PlayStation 2. Just the... Okay, I'm not talking about the ninja moves, to be clear, but the fact there was, as far as I can tell, like, no motion capture in the cutscene, which would have been very standard at this point.
The controls are wrecked. Rock, shoot those large bolts in.
I'm probably being unfair to one or both games, but looking at this reminds me of stuff like Infernal.
Yes. Huh? So I did one shot, and then they felt the need to step in and do the rest for me. I feel like they don't appreciate my contributions here. Got that one in one.
Yeah. Also, what happened where you were aiming and the crosshair was just in the center with your character model over the top? Was it the wall?
No, it's because I was up against the wall. It was actually aiming at this lady.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so the aiming doesn't look great, but it's not as bad as I thought it was at first. I'm doing the point as well.
Where to? What at? What point at? What do you want me to do?
I found one. A cowboy.
Oh, thank God for that extra zoom. I don't know what I would do without this extra bit of zoom here.
Well, if you find the ACOG sight for your revolver, then you'll be able to zoom in better.
That was a jump. I thought you fell.
Over here. The gate's jammed. We must get inside. Rourke, can you get through the gap beneath the gate?
Nope, that's impossible, sir. Can't do it. Can't bend over. Ugh.
Top notch.
You ever try to walk like that? Because
it sucks.
Yeah,
the duck walk sucks.
The gate is jammed shut. Winslow.
We're saving the explosives. Find another way.
Wait until the end of the game.
What are those things called, by the way, they use as the symbol? I recognize them, but I don't know what they are. They're from farms, right? Or
Like a pair of shears or something?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's just some, like, we're noticing these advertisements, these in-world things. I think this would have been, like, you know, the primary domain of, like, a Liquid Developments, if not doing just, like, general asset creation, like brick walls and whatnot. I think what, like, Velvet Elvis definitely would have been brought on to do with stuff like this, as far as, like, lore built into surfaces. And this is actually readable text. You know, the textures in this game get a lot of shit, and rightfully so, but this is legible text on this sign.
Wonder if that's a console version issue. I could definitely see these being... these textures would not be in the console version. Just looking
Might
at
also
this
be
game.
harder on televisions of the time.
It's probably the last unbroken panes of glass.
People forget, not everyone had a HDTV.
Pull the lever.
Still,
Let's hope
in
the shelling
like
hasn't
08, 09.
damaged the cables.
I want to hit my head on the wall first. No, me first.
All right, we can do it together. Oh, camera does not like close quarters, does not appreciate being indoors. All sorts of...
I see, I see Professor Gascan say a non-Japanese 7th gen game running at 60 FPS. What the fuck is this? This is called a PC version.
Yes.
Over here.
No way this even ran at 30 on console. I'm calling that now.
Grab the line and let's get to the bridge.
Like, even... I really feel outside of Unreal themselves,
Letting go.
and a couple of standout ones, most Unreal games this era ran terribly. Also, imagine doing that. The duck walking's bad. Imagine just holding a rope like that and sliding down.
Does have gloves on, but I think they're fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
Oh. We've got enemies.
Yeah, protect the palms, but...
They may
run
not
the
realize that
fingerprints
we're
at
here,
least.
but...
Oh, yeah, the pro tip from the review. You can just, snipe.
Well, I can only do so much sniping with my current arsenal.
Yeah.
Oh! One of your squad mates is hurt. To save them, get close and press F. Really? I gotta pick them up? They can't just be trusted to fucking do their own shit? That's no good.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's a
Also,
bespoke cover button, by the way, so... Doing this requires just... Awesome.
Yeah, you have to... Yeah, it's funny enough, because I was also going to mention, it's weird seeing a third-person shooter coming out this late that doesn't have, like, the over-the-shoulder cursor placement for aiming. It's right above you. That's very PlayStation 2.
Alright, here's a revolver.
No recoil on that thing.
No, it's recoiling. This is the muzzle climb naturally.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the animation.
It's not, it's not
I'm looking at
recoil. It's just your torso, I guess. It's just him. Woo! It's body recoil. Oh.
That'll teach him.
Yeah, Edward pointed out 3 years after Gears of War and no cover system is wild. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll you know, the cover shooter stuff definitely got oversaturated around this time. So maybe this be a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, this is what I always do, and that's what always happens to me when I do that.
Yep.
That was worth a shot.
Yeah.
Yep,
also,
reset
I
to
agree with
neutral.
This comment from Valkian24 in chat. The gun sound effects are kind of bad.
If you think the gun sound effects are bad, wait till you try to use the fucking thing.
Okay.
That might be the worst revolver I've ever used in a video game.
I don't know if you know what's going on in the plot necessarily, or what will go on in the plot, but I'm woo wee. Fuck whatever I was gonna ask. So I'm assuming that we're the Union.
You would hope so, right?
Yeah,
yeah. But I don't know if what they're going for is one of these things where it's like, oh, the war's been going on so long, it doesn't matter, like, what they were. It's all new factions now. Like, everything has changed. So they could get away with, like, not having to worry about the whole, like, hey, what was the Civil War actually about kind of thing. Because what was one of them saying, like, we're now part of New America? And it's like, well, there was no faction in the Civil War that was called New America.
Yeah, the impression that I get is that they largely sidestep the issue of slavery in this, and mostly make it about Native Americans and their relation to, you know, colonialist white Americans and so forth.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but yeah, I assume in our main characters is supposed to be Native American.
I'm not sure about that. I think his name is Rourke, and I think he's just generico white dude. But
was it one of your characters
lady...
then? Someone? Yeah.
She is.
Okay, the lady.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take cover.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't clear who was named who. I love they just throw their guns when they die.
Yeah, these guns are kind of universally terrible, as are our teammates.
Well, that seems scripted. Because he always goes down around the same spot and time. Yeah, you go, lady. Look, she's got the goggles. The steampunk confirmed.
Thank God. I was curious for a minute there if this is real steampunk or not. Okay, what can I do here? I think I have a shotgun. Cool. It's very impactful.
Worked.
You know what's awesome? You can't reload guns unless you're in iron sight mode. You have to draw your weapon for the reload button to actually work.
Oh, that's a bit... Yeah. Again, older games, I wouldn't mind that.
Over here.
That's a weird restriction for 2009.
I feel like I would have expected to go the other way around.
In here. We can scale the buildings to get closer to the bridge. Rourke, over here.
Over here. Here. Come here. Right here. Up there.
And so, parkour begins. I can rotate the camera any which way I please here.
That animation was amazing.
No, up. No, okay, no. Hold the action button and up. No. No. I'm holding the up button. I'm holding W, and he's just going left and right depending on the camera angle.
Do you have to press jump?
Yes.
Yep.
Good job.
I'm guessing what it is that there's going to be some camera cuts where W is not necessarily going to be up. So they're going to use a climb button to go up. Yeah. Okay, I understand it. They just did not tutorialize that very well.
I think I'm going to replace the shotgun with this sniper rifle.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that did not look like...
No, it didn't, but I was holding shift and I pressed space, and I assumed that would... Oof.
Yeah.
Stompers in sight. Find some cover while I get their attention.
Private residents only. I don't think we belong here. I think they're actually in the right, guys. Oh, Yakakan is down. So I think these teammates just suck. As do the explosive barrels.
Listen, I know you're getting shot at, but if you were to press space while below and facing molding, you could grab it.
Ooh. That could change the tide of this war.
Sir, he's grabbing molding. Lay down your arms, soldier.
It is so strange there isn't a cover system in this, considering that guy literally is next to chest-high wall cover.
So the assault rifle submachine gun, whatever it is a pea shooter that doesn't work at range because the spread on it is wild. Knows how that missed every single shot, basically. Knows how every shot went left or right or above him. So it forces you to use a revolver, which has disgusting amounts of drop-off in addition to not being particularly strong either. Which I guess leaves me with a sniper rifle, which I only have 6 bullets for, so I'm reticent to use it. You know, I'm gonna sneak up on this guy.
Rourke, over here.
Oh, fancy.
Watch
Show
and
off.
learn, people. This old dog still has a few tricks.
Oh, I have to continue to hold the F button to gain momentum. All right, there we go.
Yippee!
Hey, his head exploded. That's nice.
Keep your eyes on the mark and you'll be fine.
Huh? What? What's the mark?
Be fine.
You'll be fine. Yeah, don't worry.
Bowling for ragdolls.
Alright, well, you'll have to
Get
climb
back up
out,
there.
'cause- yeah. Oh, look at that. Choices. Oop. Invasion!
Do the shimmy slide. Whoa! All right, I can see myself getting used to this parkour. I don't think it's very good. I think it's all, you know, it requires being like very scripted, very deliberately designed. There's no like free form movement in this game, I'm going to guess.
It's not really an Assassin's Creed.
Booth. The murderer of our beloved president, Abraham Lincoln, is still at large. So this supposes that Booth got away with it, that John Wilkes Booth got away with it in this universe? Also, how long ago would this be? 1865.
In this universe, he knew to, like, roll when he hit the ground. Actually, the final boss is going to be John Wilkes Booth, and he has all of your parkour skills.
No!
Yeah.
Make it quick. Prescott seems to have improved his targeting system. You've done well. I knew you would.
All right, running jump.
Something's very off about the voice acting.
No direction.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just like, it sounds like they're reading it straight off the page.
For the first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
Blocked. We need to get through or around this wall.
Professor Winslow, the explosives.
Ah, but what do we have here? The Ottoman were designed for peace. Prescott added the cannons.
Professor
I feel
Winslow.
like you pronounced that wrong.
This one's badly damaged. Its cannon appears to be fused to the frame.
The game is not frozen. This is just the lack of animation, of idle animation in this game. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Way out.
There we go.
What
Yeah,
you working
so
on,
like those-
Professor? What are you up to, lady?
Steampunk technology is, yeah, amazing.
It's incredible. It's come a long way.
What,
Like, dress
what
for
is her
combat.
outfit? Yeah, what is her outfit supposed to be?
Revealing and not much else thought and put into it beyond
Yeah.
that.
H! Sorry. I see a sign that says H on it. Just visceral reaction is to shout H.
This seems to be the only way we see each other.
Not my choice.
Easy. You're still recovering.
Dee, I can't leave you here.
My duty is here, as yours is with your men. She got out.
I asked her to marry me.
I know. She told me.
Yakikin, got
like-
it. That's pronunciation on that.
I feel like if you're doing alt history steampunk, you can't just also throw in magic.
Cannon from the frame.
Like you're getting really like
Yeah.
busy with your setting at that point.
Recognize simple instructions.
Unless they somehow bullshit that was a technology. Yeah.
She was emitting clock particles out of her
Yeah.
hands.
Primary weapon.
Those are tiny gears.
TDX-243. Disengage primary weapon system.
Okay, Jodario says
On second.
Arcanum. Okay, Arcanum was an example of the
Shoot them.
steampunk magic ain't working. Whatever. That wasn't alt history though.
Wow, this looks like a lot of level. This looks like a lot of climbing.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, I am seeing a little bit of that through line to Uncharted.
I'll also say, because it came up in the history as well, part of the design.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, went sneaky enough, I guess. And this guy is an idiot. What? Seriously, what happened?
Well, I swapped
I guess he-
pistols, and this one just
No,
dumps
I'm
a
not
mag,
just-
I guess.
Yeah, just what the AI was thinking there. I guess they saw your allies as a bigger threat.
And they'd be right. I feel pretty effective here, all things told. What type of gun is that? You know, I think I'll take back the regular revolver, as bad as it is. Say something nice, huh?
Okay, I'm curious to see it, but I am a sucker. I was going to say, I am a sucker for games that do the kind of verticality, you can see where you come from thing. And if they do pull that off decently well, like that does add a lot. And that does seem to be a intentional part of the design. That's cool.
Putting the
Also,
sniper
good head
rifle to
pop's good.
use. Alright, leg shot is not enough to do it. Duly noted.
Yeah, it's not my ideal game where the guy falls over from that. Ooh! Wall hop, okay.
The way forward is through the courtyard. Guts and glory, bullets and blood.
Wow, you sound really enthusiastic about that. Thank God.
Yeah.
We need to keep climbing. Look, the building beside the bridge. That's our way up.
You know, maybe I'm wrong here. I don't remember the actor's name. I know he passed away in the last year. He wishes he was LeVar Burton.
Vance Riddick?
Yes,
Yeah.
Lance Reddick.
I feel like that guy is going
Lance.
for a really bad Lance Riddick impression.
The worst part is I knew who you were talking about before you even said the LeVar Burton thing. I was like, you know what? I'm already hearing exactly what Johnny's talking about.
I'm bad with names, so I have to use very strange references to get my.
I'm
points
good with
across.
names, but I'm always one letter off.
The gunplay in this is just straight awful. Can I just say
Doesn't look
that
good.
it's bad that all these guns are maybe worst in class.
Yeah.
For the genre. Also, where is Yakikin? I believe that's how her name was pronounced. I would like to get it right. I would like to be correct about it. Oh, that's her over there.
Yeah, they wander off on their own a lot.
And there's
I
no
imagine
like
they just
distance indicator. There's no mini map. There's no. Oh.
It
okay.
doesn't seem like they
Confederate
bleed
seems
out,
to still.
though.
Yeah, maybe. I did hear that radio mention the phrase Confederate.
Yeah, and I heard someone complain about carpetbaggers.
Whee!
So
Throwing up that
does PSI
one.
stand for something? Because I know they're just doing it because...
Prescott something Industries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know they're just doing it because Steam pressure, Valve, PSI.
I assume the ladder.
I mean, that is the way
Someone was
forward. I'm just
doing
trying to figure out, like, scope this arena out. Like, could have potentially gone through the center, to get to these edges of the arena, but like,
Yeah.
this seems like there's not enough enemies, and the enemies all like centralized in one location basically. That this arena, being as big as it is and as vertical as it is, is basically completely unnecessary.
Yeah, you need way smarter enemy AI to do this kind of stuff. Which, funny enough, that is what Uncharted got into. Like, enemies able to ambush you and get around cover and things like that.
Because, like, as it stands, we're not under any gunfire now. We're not under any threat. So now it's just platforming. I have the horrible, horrible feeling this game is more platformer than it is shooter, past a certain point.
Get to the roof, and we will be able to reach the bridge from that spire.
Which spire?
Also, where is he that you can hear him that clearly?
Clearly, we have Steam earbuds in that communicate over long distances by way of steam.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Rourke.
Smoke signals.
Find a leverage point and follow me.
All right. So, like, they do these camera cutaways to establish here's where you should be doing this jumping. And I found it here, but it is not that easy. It is not that clear, especially when these environments are very samey, are very red, brown, green at all. Serum-induced brain fever. Be temperate in use of serum. Well, now they tell me.
What? Why would they just call it serum? It's like if we had a drug called drug.
Always impressive, Rourke. Well done.
Call it a tincture at least. Take the train.
I guess in its history, it's the first ever serum ever developed. So it just got the name.
Every time you stop moving for a moment and there's another character on screen, I feel like the game froze.
Yeah, it's because there's just not enough idle animations because people don't like breathe.
Yeah, even fucking PlayStation 1 games, it looked real goofy back then, but they would have breathing idle animations.
Well, that's just vertex warping.
Oh, well, I'm thinking like classic Resident Evil where people used to breathe with their chest. They're like the real exaggerated breathe. A lot of charm to that, though.
Imagine falling here and having to replay this entire fucking level up to this point.
I imagine there's probably a certain amount of full damage eventually. I'd be curious what it is, but don't test it unless you're real confident you've hit a checkpoint.
Yeah, I get the idea.
Whee!
Yeah, there's a save. I saw an autosave.
All
right. I'm going to do some testing real quick. Let me just make sure. Load last checkpoint. Okay, yeah. This should be good. So I want to see what happens. Can I land there?
Yes.
All right, so that won't kill me. How about from here to the ground here?
No.
Okay.
Didn't even make it that far.
Died before you even hit the floor.
Ah,
wow, that was... Well, that wasn't even a checkpoint. Yeah, that was just warp to last, like, stand-in place you were.
Whoa! Oh, welcome back. She's so happy to be alive.
Oh, no! I'll help you, I'll help you.
Take my hand.
I see that. The only sound effect I think you can do while doing that is...
Yakiken, over here.
Oh, bye.
Bye.
Well, I have some bad news. Captain? Whatever this guy's role is. Honestly, the quick warp back to like whatever surface you were standing on last, that is kind of amazing. A lot of games in this style could use that. This pull-up animation where you don't use your legs at all bothers me. I know you can be strong enough to do this, but you have to be incredibly strong to do that.
I think that's how they made us try to do it in gym class. They're like, don't use your legs.
Oh, no, that's a good texture.
Yep, you're perfectly lined up. Sure.
Center. Find that center.
Wink. There you are.
Yeah, no, if someone in the gym class, like a instructor, told you to do it without your legs, they're just trolling. They just hate the kids. Yeah, what is up with this grey, that brown, well, not grey. I guess that's a glimpse to what the texture quality probably looks like on console.
Perhaps.
That speaks to the kind of inconsistent outsourcing quality and what they were able to fix and what they weren't. Oh, they really want to use one of these trip mines.
Yeah, for what purpose? To what end? On who?
Yeah.
Break your friends.
Yeah, I'll look into some. Oh, they are getting proper Prince of Persia now.
Okay, can't double wall jump there.
Yeah. I have to look at some console footage, but like I don't.
Cowards! Sons of dogs! Sending machines to do your bidding. Fight like men. Thank God. I thought everyone was dead.
I'm Professor Charles Winslow. This is Captain Hamilton Rourke of the Coalition, and Jakikin, daughter of Kilcannon.
Professor Winslow, an honor. Ramon Seferios Sagato, son of His Eminence.
Sephiroth?
Lagonda Seferios Sagato.
This animation.
Your service. Rourke, heard about you.
Where are the rest of your men?
I need to start talking with my hands exactly like that.
We were expecting a force from Terra Verde.
We sent word to the governor that an attack on Aerotree was imminent.
The word was received. I am the force from Terra Verde.
No other men?
My father is an old and stubborn man. He believes Prescott is his friend.
So you are it? He let you come alone?
I came without his blessing, and I've wiped the bridge clean of these motherless sons twice already. They don't know when to quit. By all rights, I
should be dead.
They're fried on serum.
Serum?
Highly
Jesus, looking at them die in the background.
Soldiers' stamina, strength, and capacity to kill.
Makes them 10 times stronger and crazy as hell.
Enough talk. What's the plan?
God. Sorry.
I like they finish each other's sentences already. They're getting along that well. Oh, turret section.
You three hold them off.
Which he wasn't using for some fucking reason.
Oh!
Oh, that's loud.
Yeah, well, what can you do?
A tasteful amount of screen shake.
Folk at home enjoying this so far?
Oh, you completed an objective.
Oh, I gotta
Can't
leave
wait for the can't wait for the 2 hours to help you sleep version of this video.
Where is this lever I need to pull? They did not tell me where the lever is. Oh, possibly there. Oh, well.
Maybe
Cool.
they should have told you to
But
prepare the charges.
Okay. I get the feeling maybe I'm supposed to shoot down here at enemies, or...
everything about this game sort of feels like it's a dress rehearsal.
All right, objective complete.
Rourke,
The minimum amount of shooting I need to do. With that gun, at least.
That turret kind of sounds like what I think most like 40K fans want the bolter gun to sound like in their games. This is loud and obnoxious as possible.
That was amazing explosions there. Pre-cutscene.
She was about to give up.
What a sight!
Well, pull me up.
What in the hell?
Damned clever.
Lasagna.
Come, we have to find a landing zone.
We shouldn't be bringing the Corsair this close to a hot zone.
We can still take him. We can't just run tails tucked.
The bridge is lost. Get ready, here she comes.
Rourke, what are you doing?
I need to find out what happened to Dayton.
There's nothing here, I told you.
I have to be sure.
There's no time for this now.
Leave without me.
Stompers!
D4 machinima level of quality on these animations.
Yeah. You're back up here. I don't remember what old internet meme this is. The fire the missiles one.
Oh, end of the world flash video thing.
I think they got that guy for the game.
How is everyone whiffing their shots here?
Don't! You'll hit the professor!
You've seen how bad the spread is on these weapons.
They just graze like a tree and the entire thing explodes.
If we had the forces from Terra Verte, this wouldn't have happened. Where were they?
They're gonna kill the professor. And you want to know what?
Terra Verte. The forces. Where are they? How do we know we can trust you? I know quite a bit about Terra Verte.
How do I know I can trust you, Captain?
Enough! Prescott will want Professor Winslow alive. At least for a while. We must hurry.
But we have no idea that they will take him.
No, but there is someone who will.
The professor.
Okay.
There is life in him still, but he nears its end.
Baby Renegade Angel.
Men toil like beasts. Beneath the surface,
He does sound exactly like Savior Renegade Angel.
They rape the Earth Mother, lust after her gifts. His wounds fester. He will cross over soon.
You would be proud of me, Charles. I've taken everything you and my father gave me and improved upon it. Especially this one. Always judging, even to the end. So long, Professor. See that his death does not come too easily. I want to make certain he remembers it.
Jack,
How would he remember it if he's dead?
becomes very intimate with pain.
Also, do you think that lady in the green was Irish?
Held back by a wall. A great machine growls at the center.
Boomtown. It's deep in the gorges of Bellostratos. We fought the Federalists there for 2 years.
And lost its people. Rabid. They feed on the flesh of others. To go there is madness. I bestow upon you a portion of my gift. With the eyes of a seer, you will be able to find your enemies before they find you. Someone you love.
So this was a power in the Unreal Tournament 2K4 mod that you actually could play from a selection of characters.
How do I find her?
Including Rourke. But they all had the same ability to project, to astral project, and also take over the bodies of enemies.
But alive.
So I'm curious how that manifests here.
So that others may live.
Just tell me the prison. Please.
In the clutches of the enemy. The cloaked one that wields the sword.
Then what? Where is she?
Stop.
That's a good camera cut.
Akahando, come with us. You're no longer safe out here.
I cannot. My destiny lies elsewhere.
They have a spin-off game in development. I must wait here for the sequel rights to be approved.
God, the pace in this. Forget the last thing, get to the new thing. I'm barely keeping up with what's going on there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm lost. I've been awake for a very long time.
I mean, a part of the problem is that they cut huge swaths out of this game, that they did not finish developing this game. That point of view took the scraps and stapled them together.
Zagato, I have forgotten. Where did you serve during the war?
Terra Verde has a long and noble history of neutrality.
Neutrality. The last bastion of cowards.
Terra Verde has no cowards.
So get moving, Zagato.
You're lucky. I'll be busy when we've reached the ground.
Hey, anyone in the crowd who knows Spanish, what is Terra Verde supposed to mean? Because as best as I can tell, it doesn't make any sense grammatically. Like, look at you, Earth.
The miners are insane. They fight like rabid beasts.
What? They were all just standing there with their backs to us, and then the first thing I hear is just brrr, and just them getting mowed down. Oh,
they're coming right for us.
Yeah. Yeah, those reviews saying your ally AI isn't very smart, they knew to shoot those guys instantly. That seems like genius.
They've gone insane, probably.
We have to assume they've gone mad.
You've got to be crazy to work here. Shoot.
So you notice that all the animations in the pre-rendered cutscenes are just like, using these models, are just using these like skeletons.
Yeah, fucking Tony Hawk American Wasteland ass game. But it's just the developers turning on like input recorder, and that's how they made the cutscenes.
People are saying Green Earth. That would be Terra Verde. The game uses a T, right? It's saying the subtitle did say VERTE, right? I'm not misreading that.
Wait. It is time to try the gift my brother gave us. Rourke, try the gift my brother gave us.
I like. We only now know that was her brother, by the way.
Oh yeah, no.
oh sure, yeah.
Wall hacks. Ooh, my headache. Ooh, my temples.
We're blue now.
A cluster headache.
Okay, so 5 enemies. Do you think I can?
Well,
he looks crazy.
Oh, he does, yeah. You know what? I might. This is early on. I might call the reviewers out. I do not see boring as an issue with this game so far. Not saying anything we're seeing is good, but this has been a sight to behold.
Well, right now the sight to behold is grayscale and blurry.
Oh yeah, they heard my comment. They're like, "Oh, you think this is? You want to see the game? Well, fuck you."
Now it's a first-person shooter. Perspective change in the game.
I did see that was an option in the original Unreal 2004.
Yes, you could switch. When you brought your gun out, when you drew your gun, it switched you to first person. Then when you holstered, that's when you could do all the platforming and stuff.
Yeah,
and it was not very. It wasn't good.
Yeah. You can even optionally swap between the two, I think.
Well, it's not. It's holstering. It puts you in third-person mode, and then when you have a gun out, it's just first-person mode, so you can't shoot from third person.
Yeah.
Oh,
Revive your allies using. Yep. Okay, well that's handy. That's at least good. At least it solves the problem of not having the arrows over their head earlier and being like, where the fuck is my ally to revive?
Speaking of,
I'm psychically sending you a message right now. Get the fuck up.
Honestly, that's cool.
It made a gun sound when I pressed F to try and revive the guy. Then he got up.
I guess confirmed. It's not magic. It is technology.
People are saying Terra Verde would be Green Earth in Italian, and I don't know why the Italians would be involved in this story.
Well, they're neutral. Proudly. Imagine that. we proudly take no sides in any argument.
I mean, that's Switzerland, isn't it?
Yeah, it's yes.
I just like the idea of
maybe
people
Swiss.
Oh. Okay, you know what? They have gone mad.
Got a silencer on his gun.
I do love the ragdolls, you know. They're not good, but I do love the ragdolls. I love that jump. I love the Max Payne fucking shoot dodge to jump. I do not love the gunplay. This has been established.
Yeah. Whoop. I do love watching you hop around though.
Because I'm still holding down the shift button and fuck. The button that lets you sprint and or Yep. Or I could have just climbed the ladder. Like ultimately they're tutorializing me on how to do that here, but
yeah. Well, hey, that's the the choice stuff you picked up on earlier, the platforming. Maybe there's going to be more of that.
I don't need to remind you, a man's word is his bond. Workers of Boomtown, be proud.
The Edward is asking how the platform feels now that you've played it for a bit.
Rigid.
And acclimated to it.
Stiff. Pre-plotted. Not freeform.
Yeah.
These are the words I would use to describe it.
Door open. Unlikely.
Let's move.
Yeah, I can see the Prince of Persia comparison, but Prince of Persia Sands of Time is more fluid than this, in my opinion. It has some of that richness in places, but there's a bit of control in some of your actions as well. Nice.
I was hoping there could be another one behind it. You'd have to move over like that.
Put that other one back in place. Close the trail off behind us. Ugh, each of these flyovers just fills me with dread, seeing how much I have to climb.
I feel like we had this issue during Gollum too, but when I might be wrong, but just in general, when a flyover is appreciated, right? To know where I'm going to go next. The longer a flyover takes, the less I want to play the video game at that point.
Mm-hmm. Now, some people would be like, wow, look how big this level is. Isn't that great? I'm getting so much value for my dollar.
Oh, Jesus.
So they can jib us too. I mean, I guess that's only fair. I guess that's, turnabout is fair play.
And you did swing at him.
I did fire my fist first.
He lured you to a false sense of security by not moving.
Oh, I have to do this again.
Over, not too late.
Come on. Let me...
I'd say that's weird checkpointing, but I guess, this is a load-in door. That's what this is. So I guess they couldn't figure out a way to load the game well.
They call it load lube. Or door lube, as they say in the bottom left. Okay. Found out how to skip that. I think it was a space bar.
Our path leads to the top of the mines. Hurry.
There we go. Try a different route this time.
Yeah.
I'll be right there.
Oh.
No, I mean.
I've done that in real life before. It's fun. For the person, not for the person holding onto the ladder being climbed over though. They don't like it.
This is gonna be a problem for you. Like,
yep. I was just appreciating my teammate, and well.
No excuse on that one.
No excuse for me, but also no excuse for why my teammate just like ran past them. What was his name? Sabata? Just like fucking was getting shot at and didn't think to turn around.
I'm getting out of here.
Our path leads to the top of the mines. Hurry.
This really is some of the flattest voice acting, and I mean, I don't care. Like, personally, it doesn't take me out of it so much as it's just like, it's goofy. If anything, it's a perk. If anything, it's a plus for me. When the voice acting sucks. Yeah, Also, gonna load this revolver. with this 4 cylinders. It's 4 6-shot cylinders that link together.
That's a Colt House pistol, I think.
Sorry about that, I'm back.
No, there is a real revolver that is 4 chambers. It was for home defense.
Yeah, this ain't that.
Has
this
way
is something
more than
different.
4 shots.
Yep. I'm telling you that it is 4 cylinders with 6 shots each. This is not a real gun. The cylinders engage each other in such a way that it goes through each of the 6 shots in every cylinder. There's no way mechanically this would work.
I see. I see what it is now. Yeah, you're right.
You say that, Cass, but I have seen a Nerf gun that looks exactly like that. There's the multiple chambers, and you cycle through them.
What is happening to the background?
You'd be surprised how much crossover I feel like there is in Nerf designs and steampunk guns. They have a very similar vibe in some ways.
I mean, I feel like a lot of like steampunk cosplay guns are Nerf guns with
dressed
like
up.
clocks like taped to them.
Ooh.
I'm stuck on this lamp. I am stuck on that lamp. There we go.
And did you spawn? Oh no, okay, there was a grenade. Or you just exploded for fun.
I feel like a real asshole move would be to go to one of those steampunk conventions and just walk up to any random person and point at a cog on their outfit and say, "What's that one do?"
So I thought I could toss the proximity mine. That's what I was trying to do there. But no, it just puts it on the floor. So I had to run away from it, which is why I got killed.
Well, there are 2 buttons for it. And I don't remember which is which, but one of them is just like plant and then detonate, and then I think there's another button that does something else.
Trip mine, Q.
Right, and then there was
The
another
end.
button.
Nope,
Was
this
it
is
F?
all the buttons in the game.
Was it F?
I'm sure I could press.
Was it
F? Is that's sprint and prepping to jump.
I don't know. And I'm not going to say start the game over so we can get those tutorials again.
Leads to the top of the mines. Hurry.
Yeah, hopefully they'll pop it again randomly. Seems like one of those games where they'll just every so often remind you, oh yeah, this is how this works.
Closer to your mic.
Oh, sorry.
So Dario says, I feel like the game isn't even going that hard on the Steampunk. Yeah, it could go harder, for sure. But we're still getting some of it, like those robots all having standard issue bowler hats.
I wish I had a sniper rifle. Would be a dream.
Yay!
Here we go. So I can snipe with a pistol. Not effectively, but I can.
Yeah, I'm glad the bullets do actually travel that far.
It looks like they drop off before they land where they're supposed to, but I think that might just be bad visual feedback on it rather than...
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's more rendering. Yeah.
Oh, no!
You're fine.
He didn't die at least.
Hurt his back, though, apparently. We already established earlier, though, that if you were to fall to your death, in that case, it seems like it just respawns you back.
Granted, but it's nothing I want to play around with.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows if the game's like, oh, you're in a combat situation, though, so you're gonna die.
I'm really confused exactly what political leaning they're going for with these radio calls we're hearing, where they're talking about
I'm appreciating this animation.
Progressive. Oh! Oh, it got way better.
Nope, let me off. Crouch.
Or do that 100 more times and you'll level up your stamina bar.
Good. We're in for a long one, folks.
Again, I'm not that up on American Civil War But it does not feel like they're really going for actual Confederacy with the side you're fighting.
Yeah, because it's easier to just, like, not have to deal with all the baggage if you can just say, like, it's different.
Okay, where to? Presumably up. When in doubt, look up is probably like the philosophy of this game's level design.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a ladder.
Who puts these ladders this far away from the? Huh? Oh, you gotta flip around.
Yep. Oh.
What? Why is this ladder here in lore?
To get up, or down,
or outside.
To what though?
Listen, this is an alternate. This is an alternate pass where everyone was parkour.
Yeah.
Can you zoom with that thing? Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, you can actually zoom.
Oh,
wow, he's bloomed the fuck out.
Yeah.
Oh, nice of you to join us. Finally. Edward 20 West pointing out that one of the advertising lines for this game was realistic level design. I mean, this is what it would look like in a steampunk alternate American Civil War. It's very realistic to this imaginary setting.
I'll got a bit of a sec.
When is this game supposed to take place again? Like early 1900s?
Yeah.
I think I had a grenade
shoot
launcher
a rocket
there.
launcher at yourself?
Evidently. I thought this was a shotgun of some sort or like an arrow gun, but I guess that is a rocket launcher.
Oh, I think it's like explosive tipped arrows.
The railroad spike gun.
Of course.
It's a charge weapon too.
Yeah. Also, I like that guy said he was going to cover your rear and then went ahead of you.
Do you think I can hit that? Is that why they're tutorializing me that I can hit that and it'll physics object? I bet this won't work. I bet I'm going to waste a missile here.
Yeah, you're going to waste a missile. For several reasons.
I don't think
that's what that's for. Look in the lamp.
Not even. Not even the lamp. Yeah, I'm noticing the geometry. Rough.
Dire.
Oh, hello.
His soul was still racist.
Yep.
You don't have to do it like that, Rourke. Come on. No one's impressed.
Everyone else does parkour too, Rourke. You're not doing anything unique here. You're not styling on them when they're also as proficient as you are.
Just like the casual sniping going on as well.
Already.
Steady aim, soldier. What are you doing?
They've been relieved of duty.
Yeah. Also, sometimes it's very obvious. I don't know what's causing it. Sometimes the bullets from enemies are clearly coming from the gun barrel, and sometimes they just don't. Sometimes they're just from slightly to the left.
Dealer's choice. The radio, the PA system constantly going off. It's cute at first, but the fact that it never shuts the fuck up.
Soap and bathing tokens will be distributed to all miners who exceed level 4 quotas.
Ooh.
Miners under the age of 12 report immediately to military command.
All miners under the age of 12, which we are calling minor miners.
Yeah.
Yukikin.
What is it now?
You handle yourself well. I mean, for a healer and a woman.
Pray we are never on opposite sides.
I was merely trying to compliment.
Then your aim is poor, both with your words and your guns.
Be thankful I have not aimed them at you, yet. You are
disappear.
a hard woman.
Pain and death are hard.
No follow up to that one. Okay, good. That's. I was half
Line of the
expecting to have
century.
for him to say, you know what else is hard?
I've been asked, as someone from the South, how do I feel did this representation-wise? I think every level we've been in thus far has been north of the Mason-Dixon line. Like, I'd have to check that map again in that load screen, but I think we're technically, like, have been in the north or middle of the country.
Yeah, I get the thinking. I don't think it's going to be that kind of game, though.
Yeah, no. Even though the first thing you do in the first level with a gun is shoot the bolts out to make the bridge collapse.
Yeah, I bet that's going to come up again. It's going to... It'll be glowy.
Speaking of glowy, the lighting on these to make them stand out. Oh. No, hold on. No, I need to be able to wall jump here. To be able
you
to
could just jump straight up and grab... No? Okay, never mind.
Never mind.
I got my face.
Oh, hear that, Charkie? All natural.
There we go.
Many more await us in these tunnels.
Are you now also a seer, Yukikin?
We can all see! We can all astral project, asshole!
I see your funeral will be soon and poorly attended.
Oh,
afraid to die.
I want to see. I want to see while you're doing that. I want to see a hamburger like start floating in front of you.
What are you, a seer? Yeah, you too, motherfucker. Here's a collectible.
Oh, I guess it's just 20 for the whole game.
Yes.
That's not a per level count.
Thank God
That's
for
funny.
that.
Hello, welcome to part 2 of my
Oh.
PA system announcements.
Wow, we've got
If
like
you
a
have not
Dutch
finished listening to part 1, please go into the previous room.
Like we got Dutch angle on the level flyover there.
What does the seer ability even do? It lets you see...
Yeah,
see
so
enemies.
far it highlights enemies and you can remotely revive down teammates.
What was that noise?
Uh-oh. There we go. None the wiser. Come on.
Nothing.
It's because they're shot with steam. The bullets make no sound traveling past.
Genius. It's down there. Probably doesn't matter. Yeah, we got that.
Why does that tutorial text look like it's way bigger than... That box was way bigger than the other ones?
I believe it was. For some reason. For reasons indiscernible.
Maybe I'm the crazy one, but this whole place is an asylum.
We will get the professor.
No, it's a mine.
Here.
Easy mistake to make.
Soon. More of the
You are losing it.
miners ahead.
The game does not account for the fact that I sniped every enemy here.
Yeah. And the reviews were right about that. I mean, that's
some more you can
the
Oh.
yeah, we know this game doesn't have good collision and stuff, so
I tried charging that rocket, by the way.
yeah, this isn't the railroad spike. That must be
Yes,
a different
it is.
weapon.
This is a railroad
it?
spike gun. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I believe so, anyway.
I think so.
Yeah, because they said it was all about charging up.
Ouch. All right, sniper time again, I guess. This game is inadvertently encouraging a very specific, boring style of play.
Yeah. I mean, it's a twofold thing. It feels like a plus being able to choose. Oh, okay. If I want to, I can snipe the enemies before. But if it completely invalidates any other combat form, then yeah, don't put snipers in these levels.
Alley-oop.
Like, that's the...
Awesome. Love it.
Whoop.
Thank God for that. But also, like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah, I'm not sure. The jump is very strange because sometimes it gets a lot of air and sometimes it looks more like just a walk off a ledge. Oh, is that the shotgun?
Yeah.
Have we seen this one?
Yeah, we have. It's
Oh, okay.
not good.
Fucking loud, though.
It did jib us that one time, so it has that potential. When the enemies have it, it seems pretty good. We'll want to keep our distance, I imagine. Alright, how do I get up? How do I Mark Echo this? Fuck. Here, maybe? There we go. Going up still?
Yeah, there is not enough radio for them to have this one track play for the whole level. Even if it's it's meant to be commentary.
Fuck.
Like, it's not. I don't think any oppressive overleader would play this short of a snippet this often.
No, they love the sound of their own fucking voices, so.
You think the workers here just, like, idly start repeating it to themselves as it loops? Like,
it's like working retail at Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God, yeah.
Every ladder puts you on the wrong side of it. Like, as a consistent bit in the design.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen any ladder placement that makes any sense for an actual non-parkour person to use.
Non-parkour people, also known as groundies.
Yes.
Thank God for elevators. Can I just say, thank God for things that take you up.
Oh, they should build more of these.
What a motley crew we are.
Didn't you have another one? No, he got kidnapped. That's right.
Oh, the unison audio animation there was beautiful.
Prescott has a new weapon.
A weapon? But they are civilians.
Awkward conversation.
Terra Verde. Towns visited by PSI kill themselves soon after. Neighbor against neighbor. Father against son. Some say Prescott can read a man's mind and return the dead to life.
Oh, I guess that's it.
Okay.
Okay, great, cool. That's what we call exposition. It was so natural you couldn't tell, but that's how they advanced the plot, by giving you details in an organic way. It's great because the dialogue is awful and also the performances are bad. It's concomitant. Not to say I think these actors in particular would be able to like deliver a better script that much better. They don't seem to have the aptitude for it. No trespassing, but it is a treat that it is also written so stiffly and so badly as to have no character and to give them absolutely nothing to work with. Nothing they can even accidentally land on character-wise.
Prescott has poisoned the water supply.
Serum. Professor Winslow has been studying its effects. In small doses, serum enhances a soldier's strength, speed, and aggression. But in higher doses, it causes a killing rage. PSI uses these higher doses as the weapon.
Can they be cured?
No. After a point, the damage is irreversible.
Pathetic, deranged bastards.
With a little drug, drug good. With a lot of drug, drug bad.
Folks, this is what steam power gets you. The fastest dope opening door you've ever done seen. Who needs electricity? Who needs gasoline?
Let's stop technology right here.
This is as good as it will ever get.
I could be wrong. I think most of this voice talent is Canadian-based. Looking at some of their other credits. Like some of the Dead Rising games. Something called Homeworld a lot of them have worked on.
Homeworld is a spacefaring strategy
Rescue
game.
an old friend.
Winslow on the other side.
I can see the stockade from here. We will need to cross somehow. We will use the chaos to our advantage.
Zagato here has not worked on anything else, apparently.
I think Homeworld had pretty good voice acting, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these voice actors seem to have only ever worked on this game, but the main three, especially Rourke here, has 61 credits. Though often he is credited only as voice acting, or voice actor, voiceover talent.
A mark of quality.
But yeah, no, he's doing a lot of work, so good for him.
Yeah, maybe this is just a case of bad to no direction. Would not shock me that it wasn't their priority to.
Hey, we got the new PA speech.
Ooh,
that's the mark of progress in this game.
War is hell.
So how about that AI? How about that artificial intelligence in this game?
Something really funny that more often than not, they only go for your allies. They rarely actually go for you as a threat.
I want to see if they can even score kills. I know they technically can, but over this distance, maybe not.
Oh.
Nope.
Spoke too soon.
You okay? Zagato, you vibrating gun? Oh, that's messed up. Just ran in and sucker punched him.
That's the nice thing to do. I knocked him out rather than killing him. Presumably. God damn it. God damn me holding the sprint button down. Old habits die hard. Because, you know, in Call of Duty, you hold down the shift button, you can hurdle and vault and do everything you need to do while holding down the shift button.
Yeah,
so, like, you know, once you have real video games in your hands and you have to play fake shit like this. I wonder if that's what Jacob brought to Infinity Ward. He's like, all right, I learned my lesson from Damnation. In my new game, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, I will allow the player to hold the shift button and to still vault over stuff. And everyone at the team had to be like, yeah, dog, we figured that out. Like, around the time of Modern Warfare.
Yeah, whoever was trying to market the realistic level design thing, talking out their fucking ass. That is clearly not the intention.
Oh boy.
Like, it is video game ass level design. Makes no real world sense. Whoop.
This guy is all upper arm strength.
That? Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate having to line this up.
Yeah,
nervous. Yeah.
They did it once
What is
before.
this whip crack sound happening everywhere?
Johnny Test is playing on a TV in the background on a steam powered TV.
But it's weird. In that first level, they did do.
I'm ready.
Oh, he's ready. A fixed camera angle for a certain jump, and then they've kind of just given up on doing that. Edward21 asking if I've ever done parkour on the way to Asda. I wanted to, but I was not very physically physical. By the time I got into shape, my body gave up on me.
What?
Please allow me to go away and never. What was that cutscene?
I thought he
I
stole the
love
only
this game.
motorbike.
It looked like it, yeah.
Any purpose to
do
coming
that
inside
to
this building? Nope, nothing.
I want to
Cool,
do that
cool,
one
cool,
day with a friend group. Just we're
How do
hanging
you-
out and I go, please allow me, and I just jump in
Run
the
away.
taxi. Yeah.
So, hey,
How
guess
do
what?
you
This game does have
refuel thi-
vehicles.
How do you refuel a steam-powered motorcycle?
Boil some water.
Yeah, water, probably coal.
Oh, Sonic
Oh,
06. Hmm.
Yeah, that. I want to. Okay, I want to see how slow you
Yep.
can do the wall there.
That one! Okay, so if you crash the vehicle, they don't let you checkpoint.
That makes sense.
Way across. Please.
Jotaro points out that our girl spun around in a circle before getting on the bike, like a cat or like a dog going to sit down.
Yeah.
She did it again.
Yeah, that looks so clunky. That just looks like the wall is programmed to act as a floor. I have a feeling you could take that wall apart very slowly and you would be fine.
I'm tempted to play around with this. Yep, I'm on the wall right now.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
This-
Roll Cage fan on the developments team.
It feels like you're like always a hair's breadth away from falling out of bounds somehow.
Oh,
I might be. I feel like I probably am.
oh! I didn't
Just
think you were
thread
gonna
the
make
needle.
it.
Well, this is the most fun I've had in the game so far. It's not good, but I'm enjoying it. I want one more roadkill. Very good.
Oh yeah, no, this game seems no good, but I am loving it.
Uh-oh.
Well.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we only hang the motorcycle on the side of the house for the 4th of July. Your vision is nice and blurry. It's time to move forward.
Oh.
I feel like she's animating too much. I think her body should be entirely like this, but when she has to shoot, her hand just like...
It should be Drake and 99 Dragons.
Drake
Her
and
torso
Yeah.
should just swivel. Her arms should just be flying around while her body stays completely
Yeah.
still.
I know it's for guidance purposes, but the amount of tracks, you know, like tire tracks of people going on the walls means that this is just how people normally get around these areas.
Did you catch that load screen, by the way? That very subtle
did,
load
yeah.
screen? Yeehaw.
Right. Spin, spin.
Yes!
Every time.
I want to see if it has to load again. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And
Oh.
luckily, because we're playing the PC version, presumably those would be the bad load times we heard about.
Well, I guess you can. I guess there's a threshold in how much damage you could take.
Yeah, that seems to be a problem with these vehicle sections, is relying on your partner here to shoot them.
I mean, I think I'm not supposed to slow down and try to run people over, but I'm enjoying it too much, so I keep making it stupid. Also, something I noticed about that load thing is that it cancels out your holding down the W button to accelerate.
Oh,
that's why I stopped. That's why I stopped suddenly. Yeah,
Were you taking in the sights?
Needs its workers.
I was hoping that there's another. Oh, that's his. So I was hoping that this would actually keep your momentum and you just slam into that wall.
They keep tossing the shitty weapons at us. Good God.
This is a present from
Well, thank you, Getty, for the subscription. Auspicious time for it, auspicious game to come on board for, but...
I hope we can make it in time.
I hope we can make it in time, too. This is rough, this game, I must say, believe it or not. There's something about it. I can see the ambition. I can't see where this ladder was supposed to go.
Well, they built the ladder that tall, and then all of a sudden everyone started speaking different languages, and they couldn't understand each other.
How are they shooting me? Oh. God damn it.
I hope we're not too late.
Ooh. Brutal. I wish I had bullets for my sniper rifle. I can tell you that much for free. You know what? Let's try one more. Ooh! That really broke the windows out on that one. So that was fun. That was cute. I liked that part of it. I think going inside and trying to climb up on the rooftops of these buildings is a fool's errand. I think I'm better off just staying on ground level with my dinky little revolver, hoping to get the drop on guys.
Yeah. It is really funny to me that this game is just... It's conceptually what Uncharted would become with this kind of level design.
Oof.
These little, like, sandboxy areas you could climb up. You know, it depends on the level, because some of them were also very linear, but just the idea of, oh yeah, there's a couple buildings, you can climb up on this one and take enemies from above, or try and ambush them, go around this way, but the difference there is that, you know, they had function AI, so they could also do that in some cases.
And they also had, like, you know, better weapons and shooting in that, just fundamentally, I imagine.
Yeah. They definitely did it too. Funny enough,
gonna have zombies in it.
Oh, well, it kind of already does, in a sense.
Yeah, but I mean, like, without the guns. Like, just the shambling horde kind of zombies.
I know it has wolf people in it later.
Yeah. I will say, I don't know if people remember this. Uncharted 3 single player had, like, broken aiming on PlayStation 3. It was, like, a weird issue where, like, the way you were pointing the camera was not where you would aim when you would pull out a gun, but it worked fine in multiplayer.
I don't remember if I ever played that one.
They actually fixed it in the PS4 port. It's just something they never fixed until that version. It's strange. Like, it's not game ruin. It's just like every time you try and aim, it's just like, oh, okay, I gotta readjust.
Blot says, oh dang, I finally realized what this game reminds me of, but I don't remember the name. It was the Call of something with Juarez in the subtitle.
Call of Juarez, the cartel.
But yeah, some people commented earlier this game looked like a Call of Juarez tie-in.
Looks like a Techland game, yeah.
Yeah.
Derogative.
Yeah, before Techland kind of got... Surprising they're still around. They feel like a developer that would have bottled out early on. with how janky their stuff used to be, and then they did Dying Light, and now they're
I really wanted to get on that
going,
ladder.
which I'm happy about because I love Dead Dying Light.
Oh yes, yes.
God, yeah, I see what they were going for with this game. Like when it does randomly work, when there is that freedom, and then it doesn't work like that.
Visualize making this jump.
Why is that
love
sound
the
they
gunshot
picked?
sounds for.
It's a good vine boom.
It's like a fucking cannon, yeah. It's like the sound they use for the shotgun in Terminator 2. Now you're hitting the...
I know,
yeah.
I know.
Oh, Jojo also points out, if there's werewolves, is this Proto the Order 1866? 1886? Whatever it's called. Speaking of alt history.
Yeah, that one will be on the show at some point soon, too.
Yeah, I'm the one who has to play that one.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
I'll be right there.
It'll be short.
I'm so nervous because I need like to do the running jump, but
Oh, fancy. Don't think I've seen that before, like jumping in and grabbing the other side.
These doors are so pathetic. And what this would be is in co-op, you'd have to get both players on this, is what I imagine this really is for, to make sure that players are caught up so they can synchronize to events happening.
It's and it is a load-in check. It slows the player down. I'm curious in co-op if you would have been riding on the bike and shooting. Oh wait, Charkie, you might have called it.
Such things only in nightmares. Unholy creatures.
It's the deprived from Dark Souls.
It is. I was expecting him to whip out like a shotgun. It just blow you in one hot shot again.
Hang on. That character
Yeah, it is
didn't
Dark
bleed.
Souls.
Did that character have a slowly fading blood puddle?
Yes, they
underneath?
did.
That's cool. I love this game. I want to play this now.
Well, it's not available for sale on Steam anymore, I can tell you that much for free.
Yeah.
I believe one Rohan Carr has a repack of this game available that we are using.
Well, there's that option, or I could do the thing that Sony hates.
Buy a physical copy of it for PlayStation 3. The way it was meant to be played. I just want to push this off the edge.
I know people have mixed feelings about Donkey, but his video of him going through his collection and going, "Oh, Sony, do you hate this? Look at this. I've got Jak and Daxter. Check this out, kid." It's very, if you remember those rappers showing off their video game collection.
Soulja
videos,
Boy.
it's that vibe.
Classic.
Yes.
Haven't played it.
Yeah, it's it's basically that video.
Ooh, okay.
Sometimes textures take a second to load in.
Yep.
Gotta be patient.
That flyover confused me. It looks like you're going backwards now.
Well, when all of the level looks the same from beginning to end, basically.
Yeah.
When it drags on as long as this level has, you know, it's easy to make that kind of mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Is this going backwards?
No, I think that's where we came from. The other side of the thing, right?
Okay.
Or that is where we're headed. One of the two. I think they want me to hit that sign over there, right? Because it has the little latches on it. But before I do...
Yeah. Whatever happens, we're going somewhere. Unholy creature. Standing there.
They've lost their mind. They're fucking twisted. Hilarious that was the premise for this level. The setup for this level, that the miners were crazy. And then who are they being out crazy by? Zombies. Honest to God, ghouls.
Edward, does anyone know what the plot is? I mean, I know what the plot is. I don't know what the premise, outside of just alternative Civil War.
I know the premise, but I don't know the plot. So put us together and we can figure out what this game is doing.
Okay, well, we know this guy wants to save his fiancée that the bad guy just happens to have because we just got shown it through magic cutscene. Also, they have the professor. Like, yeah,
His
that's about all
girlfriend
we
is
know.
magic too, right?
I
was
think
her
the
doing
implication in this game, and you know, you're gonna hate me for saying it, but I'm right, is that all Native Americans are magic.
Oh, I'm not hating you for saying it because that's what they're implying. It's 100% what they've implied.
Not even implied, just all but said. Ooh, go to New York.
And also, on that note, have we seen a single black person in this game about, ostensibly, the Civil War, which was a war fought about slavery and the rights of man?
Yeah.
Is it going to factor into anything in the course of this game?
I'm curious.
You have to stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, there are more characters listed as having voices in this, so maybe.
It's like they wanted to make an Old West game. That's what it is. That's where that thought ends. They wanted to make an Old West game, but someone told them, you know, Civil War is more marketable than Western. Or, you know, we got this game that's called Dark Watch. It's beating us to the punch, so you're going to have to, even if you want to do all the same shit, even if it is effectively the same thing, same period in history, whatever, you're going to call this an American Civil War game. God damn it. Except that doesn't make sense, because we know the origins of the game is an Unreal 2004 mod, where they were still calling it a alternate history Civil War, so... Maybe that Michael Urbanski guy is a fucking moron, is a stooge, who should have stuck with the real estate.
You're not liking his script so... Apparently he was a voice actor in the original mod. Maybe that's where he shines. No, I should have looked at that. Oh, I'm not going to be able to spell his name. Created and written by... Yeah, he's still credited on the final game for that. And executive producer, yeah.
Probably his actual role in this. I'm imagining that between the development of the mod, of the prototype, of the whatever you want to call it, whatever they decide to call it on a given day, and development starting on this, that he really did switch into a producer role, that he managed to get the money together to form Blue Omega as a proper studio. They had a proper office. I saw a photo of Jacob standing in front of like a Blue Omega symbol against a wall. It's like a silver logo up against the blue wall. So like they had like a physical location that they went to work, and maybe like, you know, they're working from there. Michael comes in, sits behind a desk, watches golf while everyone else does the hard work of game development. And he's just like, you know, doing payroll, basically. And, you know, it's still his idea. So he's ultimately, he's invested in it as far as he wants to see his idea, his unique and original idea of Steampunk Civil War brought to life in some capacity. But I just can't imagine him, like, taking an active role in design or, like, you know, babysitting this project, having a role beyond, like, checking in every month or so to be like, is it still, you're still working on this, right? This game is still, we're on track. We haven't run out of money yet. Do I need to petition for more money?
Give her a minute.
This is why she needs to circle around every time.
Yeah.
No, this works.
This works, I guess.
Yeah, this is like some like Counter-Strike server.
There we
bullshit.
go. Yeah, this is one of those fun maps. Yeah.
Okay, two questions, one to highlight. Edward21 in chat asks what the chances they got Native Americans to voice the characters. There's a little presumption on my part looking at the actors listed. I'm going to say 0. Because again, I think they're Canadian-based.
My stable of bikes.
Native Canadians.
Each built to my exact specifications.
Yeah. I miss my bike's tails. And I see Super Tony Tyxus for ask if there was a Wild Wild West video game, and sadly no. If only.
Uh-oh.
I love you.
Well, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out fun.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack there. Oh.
All right, who's driving?
If only. They don't have the Halo 2 companion driving AI that fucking sucked.
Have I told you about my bike collection in Terraverse? I miss my stable of bikes.
Uh-oh. I think I'm running out of momentum. Oh, no, there we go. We're good.
Yeah, it still went pretty slowly, and we're doing fine now. Okay, remember there's a blind pit coming up.
Bad visibility on it, though.
I mean, I see what they were trying to signpost with that.
I think the camera was like pointing down a bit more, it'd be easier to see.
Yeah, I have no camera control over this, by the way. I'm moving the mouse. You can't do anything besides...
Oh,
you have to look for those, like, things on the wall, like the tire tracks.
Yes, I know. It's just...
I like your companions just disappear when that happens as well. They don't die, they just...
They bail, but they bail sooner than we do.
Use their seer powers and just teleport.
Yes, you have, actually.
Yeah.
Listen, you might not know it, but you have. Twice.
I miss my stable of bikes, each built to my exact specifications.
I love no one responds, just, yeah, we don't care, mate. No one asks.
He's like, remember Hard Rock Nick? The TikTok guy, the Instagram guy who, like, with the crazy goatee who would Photoshop himself, and he talked about how he owns, like, hotels. He talked about this room at the fucking Hard Rock Hotel, built to my exact specifications, my own custom fucking bed, custom fucking shower. And it's just like, he's just some broke dude who's just going to random hotels in Vegas, and... No! Wait! No! Wait!
Get out and push.
Does this count as a landing you can walk away from? Almost.
So close. Where's this checkpoint?
I think they checkpointed you.
I think they put us on top of it. I think they let us have it.
Yeah.
In short time, your fate will be sealed, Superman.
People have really been misusing the solve my maze as of late on this show, I gotta say.
I kind of like it just being
Oh no,
used
this is backtracking.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say...
Wait, no? Oh my god, it's just the same
wasn't?
exact fucking area, though!
No choice.
Oh.
The
I'm seeing some
not
like, copy
entirely-
and pasting now.
I'm not entirely convinced you haven't just been going back and forth. And then the game just hopes you don't notice.
I mean, they did mention in the postmortem that they reuse a lot of just, like, geometry and just, like, paint new, like, textures on it or rotate it, basically, to reuse it.
Yeah. So they're not even really retexturing much.
No,
This is
no,
just-
they're not.
Maybe this is like a dress rehearsal where it's just like, okay, we don't have the sets built yet, so we're just going to... You're just going to enter the set from different angles and pretend it's a new place. Oh, that ragdoll was fun, though. It's like, oh, I don't have a head. What am I going to do? Look at that. The zombies and the miners working together.
They have a common goal. They love coal. What's this gun?
I'm trying to imagine a world in which that is why a miner becomes a miner. It's like, I love coal.
Oh, this is the
I love
railroad
coal.
spike gun.
It's beautiful.
Oh my god, it's
clean.
awful. It's useless. It is completely
Maybe
fucking
it's-
worthless.
Maybe not at close range.
Hey, you know what I could do to really solve this real good?
Yeah.
Careful.
Be careful. Bah, boom, 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 boom.
I love they're supposed to be zombies, but they just run around like regular guys.
I think they're like hollows.
They are from Dark Souls, legit.
Yeah. They have the axe and everything. I was trying to melee, by the way, and it did not pan out. One might accuse me of running out of steam at this point in the show. To that I say.
Over time, technically.
I'm waiting for a natural break in this. When's everyone going to start coming out again? They actually like lined up perfectly for me to... Maybe if I trigger it by stepping on the bridge.
Adaptive enemy AI. What if we come out one at a time this time?
Quality over quantity. It's fucked that the only effective, like, my bread and butter is the world's worst revolver. It is the least bad of all the awful choices. I mean, besides a sniper rifle. Sniper rifle
like a monkey,
is incredible.
It's like a monkey paw situation for you. It's like, yeah, the revolver will be the best gun, but it still sucks.
You know, the original Unreal mod had akimbo revolvers, had akimbo these revolvers with the crazy amount of cylinders on them. So this is a step down from that.
Might be a weird question. You know, we didn't see the original thing. We went right into the game, but you've played the original mod, right?
Yes, not to completion, but I did play a sample a bit of it. Have it installed right now.
Would you say that the original mod felt any more complete than this?
That's hard to say. In its capacity as a Unreal Tournament 2004 mod, it looks like they accomplished what they set out to accomplish with it. I mean, it's still very prototypical in the sense that it's like one level. It's not particularly long. But, you know, you could make the argument that it had like a very narrow scope, right? I think there are elements of it that did strike me as slightly unfinished. Like, I could not for the life of me figure out the one keybind that enables you to do the spirit healing at the healing stations. But, you know, as far as their proof of concept, it seemed like a completed proof of concept. It seemed like a high production value proof of concept that could lead to a game like this getting pitched, which is effectively what it is and what it was. God damn. Because, okay, so people are going to be mad about me dying again there and using the melee, but when you're that close up, the revolver at close range is fucking useless.
Yeah,
Can I just say, in my defense?
Even watching, I can tell the gunplay at close range is bad. It's not really how this game wants to be played.
It also doesn't want you to use the fist either, but, you know, here we are. Yeah, that was just me getting too bold with it, waiting too long. Again, like, you know, I can see, like, what they expected you to do, what they were really hoping you would do as a player would be to climb up here, sneak in, and then work your way through them. Like, you know, you have your squad on one side doing completely ineffective shooting, whiffing every shot, and then you sneak behind and pick them off from here, from inside.
Oh, they got at least one kill, I heard.
I noticed we've gone back to the PA announcements from like an hour and a half ago.
That's a friend. I know it's hard to tell.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're totally right. What's he doing on this side? How did he get over
this entire time? I have not been able to tell friend from foe unless they've been like right next to you.
I've definitely, I've made the mistake a few times.
Because there's no indicators for anything. There's no like arrows above the heads of your people or above objectives. Nothing pointing you in the direction you need to go. This game is anti-signposting of any kind.
This game also does have some of that 7th gen desaturated look.
It's got bloom for days though, and blur for days too while it's at it.
Yeah, and if people are curious why so many games look like this, and it wasn't just trend chasing, that was a part of it, is that Unreal 3 was basically, this is what it did well, was this art direction. It sounds weird to say, it was basically built for Gears of War.
And this was the engine of the era that defined that generation.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Yeah, it took a long time and some very smart cookies to get stuff out of it that actually looked different. But I do, that level design, it's mostly held back by the combat. But I do like it on paper, seeing that you can come into these combat arenas in multiple ways.
Where are y'all going?
Because the funny thing with Uncharted is it actually, it does do this idea better, but it doesn't fully do it until, I would argue, the 4th game. It was always something it was chasing, but it was more...
Which, funnily enough, Jacob did not work on that 4th game. He was only 2 and 3.
Yeah, I need to look into it. I think that game had a different version that Amy Hennig, who was like the main Uncharted lady for a while, worked on. And then it got like retooled. But Uncharted was always, like slowly building on that idea. It was just also very linear in the PS3 days, which might be more of a technical thing. Like keep it linear.
Oh my god.
It's what the system can handle.
Love this freeform parkour. Love the way it makes you go exactly one prescribed route through the level. Love the way that I have no options other than to do this singularly intended path.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to clamber on top of that other building, other short of doing this.
Yeah, it's a neat idea when it lets you approach combat in different ways, but when it's for level traversal, it falls apart a bit. There's also the earlier part in this area where I saw the climbing beams on the side of a building that you just couldn't reach. I couldn't figure out why they were there. And again, they're just the way you're supposed to navigate this world if you weren't in combat, it just doesn't exist.
I somehow expected there to be no more enemies left.
Oh, what? Blank LA in chat mentions Amy Hennig's esteemed writer credits of the Soul Reaver series, Uncharted, and Michael Jordan Chaos in Windy City. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, you got to start somewhere.
Hopefully this level ends here. It has to.
Yeah.
It's been going on for so long. All aboard. All right, we have an FMV. I'm calling that a level end. Wherever it picks us up, drops us off.
It's one of those kind of games where they're trying to blur where the level splits are.
He's still alive.
Kill them and bring them to me. You're the sniper. Snipe. Nonsense. Here, take this.
I don't need it.
Take it.
Or the power, or whatever. Lesbian to lesbian communication.
Snipers. Dark Seraph snipers.
Well, we'll have to deal with those. Huh? Good sign?
We must be close.
Oh, yeah, good point. Anyway, we'll have to see how that plays out next time on the next episode. We're still on Rescue an Old Friend. But, hot damn. Well, give me a second here to get us in front. Guess I can't drag this over the window. Boop. So, initial thoughts on this, on this game that we're embarking on now.
Yeah,
well,
you go first, Charkie.
This is not a finished product. Clearly.
No, you don't say.
It's so I'm seeing it going into this. I wanted to look for any sort of like through line from this to stuff like like an Uncharted or something like that. And I see him. I see little bits, not just the fact that it is parkour, but I see little bits in terms of how like they're doing panning shots and how they're doing aspects of the reversal. And I'm like, yeah, I see the connection there. But most of this game just, like I said it pretty early on, that this feels like a dress rehearsal. And it does. Like, animations are just like not finished or not there. The voice acting sounds like they're just reading off the paper for the first time for no direction. It's very sloppy in a lot of places, a lot of places. And that's all, just very self-evident observations. I can't speak to how things individually control in terms of game feel, because, I'm not the one holding the controller. But this feels like it needed way more time in the oven.
It already had 4 years, mind you.
Somehow it needed more time in the oven. Like they put it in the oven, but they forgot to turn the oven on.
So it's just thawing in the oven, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, hearing that a lot of development was just fixing the work they hired other studios to do. So that probably did eat into actually making progress.
I don't know about that. The impression I get is that it's overstated or like wrongfully stated. I think ultimately the programming, Blue Omega did not have that many programmers. They had a small crew of programmers on hand, and what Velvet Elvis was brought in to do was just purely art asset stuff, eventually replaced by Liquid Development, and then Point of View became like the primary programmers at a certain point. And what I'm trying to figure out, what I would love to know, is if they were being subcontracted during Blue Omega's time on the project, and so Codemasters was like, okay, we're passing the buck onto you to finish this since you're already familiar with the game, since you've already been providing all this code and programming. Or if they were brought on completely after the fact, after they told Blue Omega, we don't need you anymore, you're coming in too slow, it's taking too goddamn long, we're switching over to Point of View. But ultimately, the work they were getting submitted is purely art asset stuff. If it's coming from Velvet Elvis, if it's coming from Liquid Development. So I guess it really does depend at what point in the project Point of View got onboarded.
Yeah. Any more thoughts, Charkie? Sorry.
I think my thoughts are a little unfinished for an unfinished game, but we'll get more thoughts developed as we go on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Johnny, anything?
Yeah. No, if we were in an alternative history, if you will, this was a prototype for a game that got cancelled that leaked online a couple years ago. I believe it. It's got that vibe of this could have been cool if this was finished. It's definitely the impression I get. I will say though, I don't find it boring. It doesn't execute any of its ideas well, and it's got a lot of interesting ideas. I don't really think in the world building anything like that feels very underbaked. That could just be also telling the story in a poor way. That there's all these concepts and it's just delivered out of order and just bits and pieces, and hearing these radio tannoy things. But I can see the ambition they had for making these sandbox arena style combat built around the parkour shooting, but the actual shooting seems so janky. The platforming seems janky. The AI of your allies and your enemies seems so basic. It does feel like a game out of time. It's interesting because the history shows this was intended for the 7th generation, but it feels like a game that was intended to come out 2004 on PlayStation 2 when the original mod came out, and then got moved up a generation. But that's not the case here. It's such a strange thing. But I kind of love the train wreck this is. It's not boring. It's really entertaining in just watching it fail. It's failing in interesting ways, which is great because some of the reviews made this seem like this is going to be a boring slog, and I don't really get that from this, even if the shooting is very subpar.
You're being generous. I'm
yeah,
definitely
probably.
getting the slog element of it, and the fact that levels never fucking end, the climb never ends. Like, I think that's the most grating part of it. And the fact that combat is so bad, is so underwhelming, is so consistently inconsistent, I mean that you'll have to replay, like, the scant few combat encounters over and over again to solve the way the angle of approach the developers wanted of you, or to otherwise, like, you know, cheat it out with, like, the sniper rifle and combination of cover and distance and burning revolver shots across a great distance to try and get it done. It's not, like, exciting in that sense. I think it's exciting in the sense that, you know, it breaks in unique ways, that it's finding new and unique ways to fall apart in real time. That I kind of look forward to the cutscenes, as bad as they are, just to see those animations, to hear that flat voice acting. You know, it's a good bad game. As a bad game, it has merits, but you know, it absolutely cannot be mistaken for like a game that is, you know, it was you know, a little short of the mark, but you know, it has some neat ideas, and you know, they've just been able to bring it together a little bit more. No, this falls well short, and you know, for as few vertical shooters as there are, one, there's a reason for it, because they're generally not as accessible and require a different skill set and are, you know, and a lot of times frustrating to play. That's at least my take as someone who's bad at vertical shooters, who is bad at like vertical maps and the likes of Unreal Tournament and what have you. But, you know, obviously they're going to have their place. There is a place for that. You know, as an example, by way of example, because we know we have Jacob, who worked on Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and from that moment forward. But I remember a game by the name of Advanced Warfare, which was, for its time in Call of Duty, unusually vertical. That game had a number of stages that were larger than the usual, and, you know, took advantage of like jetpacks and climbing and stuff. To produce vertical maps. And, you know, it was a bit more measured in its take of it. I like that multiplayer just fine. This, though, without shit like jetpacks, where you're entirely reliant on this parkour system, where it is a slow grind and climb. If this game had hook shots, think about that.
Yeah.
Think about if you had a tool just to toss a fucking rope onto a beam and climb up, to climb up walls in that way. That's what it's desperately missing. Because it is built around this parkour system, quote-unquote parkour, because it's built around this climbing system that requires interacting with very specific parts of the level that are carved out and designed with the explicit purpose of you traversing them, rather than any sort of free-form thing, that makes the verticality just that much more miserable. You know, at least I haven't had too many problems with falling off of stuff and having to, like, you know, replay this amount of level. It's been okay with the checkpointing, or with the ability to spawn you in place when you die. That's also something that happens in the mod, by the way. That if you fall to your death, or even get killed in combat, they will give you a sequence of, here's all the checkpoints along the way. Which one do you want to respawn at? As if they were activating, like, checkpoints, activating spawn points in, like, a map that you can choose where to spawn. Yeah, so the platforming, I don't love. I think it's poorly implemented in service of a style of FPS that is historically uneven in terms of games that prioritize the verticality element, that force you to be looking up and down and all around, that require a full, like, head on a swivel, being aware of all 360 degrees around you, rather than, you know, just what's in front of you. And, you know, and that's also compounded by really, 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 really bad weapons. Some of the worst weapons I've used in a fucking while. I'm willing to give this game not necessarily the benefit of the doubt. I don't think this game's going to improve anytime soon, but I'm eager to see if they try anything else, if they give you any more powers that potentially break the game, if they try any, like, set piecey stuff. And then to watch that crash and burn would be deeply satisfying, amusing at all. And that multiplayer, which, by the way, was dead on arrival, as per Stephanie Sterling in that Destructoid review we read during the history section. She mentioned that no one was playing this game within, like, the first, like, couple weeks of release. So this is probably a very, you know, probably not a lot of people saw the versus mode in this. So I hope I can figure out something with that and see if there was any potential merit there. Should also mention that the original Unreal mod, no multiplayer component to that one. While it was in active development, so that was purely focused on single player. But this is all to say that we have much to look forward to in this continuing playthrough. I am curious to see where it goes, how it evolves, or does not, as the case may be.
Yeah. It doesn't look good to play, but it's experience it has been fun, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes well enough sense. With all that being said, the time has come for me to say, folks, thank you for coming along with us on this, the first episode of our playthrough of Damnation. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, huh? We will continue this playthrough. You'll catch the next episode of it July 23rd, with any luck at all. I'm getting the feeling this ain't a 2-parter. I'm getting the feeling it's more like a 3-parter, possibly a 4-parter. So we will play that by ear, and we will hope to follow it up with a playthrough of You Are Empty. But how far into the future that may be, time will tell. Alternative history will tell. You can join us back here on Saturday, July 18th, though, for a Bad Game Chance Time. I'm pushing our new long-form program up a month, or up a week or so. So you can tune in and watch us play America's worst game show. The worst game show on the web, Bad Game Chance Time, the show where everyone loses. Except the audience, who I guess gets to win if they'd like to watch us suffer, as the case may be. Join us Monday, July 20th for a Casual Monday, the show in which we play not-so-bad games and shoot the shit a little more casually. Join us Tuesday, July 21st for Bad Rats, The Rat's Revenge, celebrating the birthday of that game. Infamous bit of Steam shovelware of gag gift infamy. But it does have a story attached to it, a curious one indeed, and we are here to cover it here on the Bad Game Hall of Fame. So please tune into that one. It will be an interesting one, I assure you. And then, yes, as mentioned, Thursday, July 23rd, continuation of Damnation. Hey, if you like what you saw here tonight, you might consider joining our Discord server, discord.gg/BGHOF, a community of connoisseurs, talk good games, bad games, every game between, things that aren't games. Join our Bad Game Club, where the community commiserates over games they are made to play, held at gunpoint to play. What are they playing this month, Johnny? What are the prisoners being forced to...
Yeah, we are sampling Breakout for the PlayStation 1, a Breakout for the modern age, a reinvention of Breakout made by previous reinvention of Paddle and Ball game. Supersonic Games made the Pond game we played, and this is their follow-up. So if you enjoyed the previous ball and paddle action, it's more that. I know Charkie's a big fan, but if you're not a big fan like Charkie, don't worry, we'll have a new game next month, a non-ball and paddle game to check out.
Very good. And hey, if you really like what you saw here tonight, you might consider financially supporting the show. Subscribing on Twitch, pledging on Patreon, becoming a member on YouTube, any or all of the above will grant you access over on that Discord server to a Patreon Saints channel, wherein you can vote in polls to determine our future playthroughs, like this one here. Make suggestions to help steer the direction of the show. Gain access to exclusive content, primarily by way of VODs, primarily by way of our Casual Mondays archive, which is nearing 180 plus hours of exclusive content by way of just that one show alone. We are working on further offerings, further incentives to financially support us. And, we do appreciate it. We do really appreciate it, and we do hope that you get a warm, fuzzy feeling from supporting a show like ours, keeping us in bad games, keeping the Schadenfreude going. We are genuinely appreciative. We are glad we get to put on this goofy-ass show, do our hour-and-a-half-long history sections at all. And if you can't financially support us, we completely understand as well. If you're still looking for a way to support the show, if you're still looking for a way to help out around here, might I suggest mosey on over to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@BadGameHallOfFame. Find our suggested viewing playlist. That is 20 handpicked episodes of the show that we think make for some of the best onboarding onto this here show of ours. Fit to share with folk who might go for video game stream archives in the 3 to 4 hour range. Or maybe you know someone who's a big old Civil War buff, and you can tell them this is a Civil War game, an alternative history Civil War game, and they can watch it and be like, what the fuck? Where's my Civil War shit? Where's... This don't look much like the Civil War at all, boy howdy. And then the egg will be on their face. we leave it to your discretion, of course, dear viewer, who you choose to share it with. And we just thank you for even considering doing so. All right, who's streaming at this hour? Who can we potentially send a raid the way of? Let's go with... I'm going to go with Author Blues, who is playing Crystal Defenders R2. This looks to be some form of tower defense. We've been playing Defenestration here. We threw so many people through windows in this game. Actually, no, we didn't throw a single person through a fucking window. We went through windows. We threw ourselves through windows in Damnation, but...
we took it into our own hands.
In any case, please let them know the Bad Game Hall of Fame sent you. For the Bad Game Hall of Fame, I have been... I almost said Confederate Cassidy, but no, absolutely fucking not.
No.
We'll just go with Cowpoke Cassidy.
I've been Steam Powered Charkie.
And I've been a resident of the Damnation, Johnny Baghead.
Very good. We'll catch all y'all later on down the line. And until next time, bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Toodles.